Ready.
Ready. Hello, you. Welcome. I haven't got the scripts up. I got 2 words in. Hello, you. What else do I say?
What's your name?
My name's Jonti.
And I'm Brandon, also known as B Squared. And this is This Week in Ink.
Each week we'll be taking you through all the Lorcana news.
We normally have features that we've skipped over a couple of times now.
It's reveal season.
It's reveal season. We have cards to reveal. We do have a You Made Me Ink this week.
Yeah.
We are doing that. We're not doing a...
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, so
explain.
If anyone didn't see my tweet, about 30 minutes ago I made a tweet that said come hang out at the stream. Definitely not in the drive-through.
And it's already repeating on him.
on my way to work. So I thought it'd be fun if you guys could try to guess what I ate tonight for dinner. So nobody's guessed it so far.
We got Taco Bell, Zaxby's. I've never heard of Zaxby's. Is that a local thing?
Do you know what Cane's is?
Cane's? It's a brewery in England that sells good beer.
It sounds about as good as it is here. Cane's is like a locally, I think to the south, chicken place.
Right. And
they literally only do chicken. Like there's 4 menu items.
Yeah.
It's a 3-piece, a 4-piece, a 6-piece, and then like that's it. Zaxby's is like a different version of that.
Okay.
Worse in my opinion. But neither of those. I didn't get Cane's, I didn't get Zaxby's, I didn't get Taco Bell.
Whataburger?
Didn't get Whataburger. Nope, no Whataburger.
Wingstop?
I had that yesterday. Didn't get that today. Popeyes? No Popeyes. Nope. You guys are cold.
We can't carry on until they've said it, so
Cane's started in Baton Rouge.
Somebody said before, you ready for the 2-hour talk about Chernabog? We have over 60 cards to go across tonight. Chernabog gets 30 seconds. Chick-fil-A. It said it's not close. It's not chicken. I don't know what it was. He held it up to me, and I couldn't tell you what it was. It
was technically chicken, but that's just
the best kind of chicken. Can I get a technically chicken and rice? Food. It was food.
There were vegetables, chicken, and then there were also vegetables. There was something else. That's your next hint before I just give it away.
All right, keep them coming thick and fast. So we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants tonight.
Yeah.
One, because Brandon was a little bit running late from the day job. And I was already, about an hour ago, I'd sat down to get all the graphics done. So I have to sit and take all the images and put them on the screen so you can see the cameras with it. Trey got it. IPA got it. No,
IPA got it.
IPA got it.
Yep.
Panda Express. There you go.
Panda Express.
They're good. So anyway, I sat down about an hour ago. And as I sat down to start getting all the prep for the show done, a podcaster who will remain nameless, because I don't think it's fair to bring him into it. It certainly wasn't his fault. A podcaster messaged me and said, "Are you ready to go?" I completely forgot that about a month ago I'd agreed to appear on a podcast. So I jumped over, and I've literally just come off the back of recording a show for somebody. So I've got nothing prepped. So I've got all the cards in a folder, and we're just going to try and muddle through them. So let's see how we get on. Hopefully, You should see Immabelle, which is the first card we didn't cover last week. It calls me. I've just realized I don't have the English open for any of these.
You like me to read it?
This says win the game. What does it say?
It's an amethyst, so probably.
Yeah, it's amethyst, so it says play this card, win the game.
It says draw a card, choose up to 3 cards from your opponent's discard pile, return them to that player's deck, and shuffle.
Okay. 1 cost inkable uncommon action. I don't know about this. every time I look at this, I feel like I change my mind about it. I feel like it goes from terrible to amazing, depending on how I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I immediately I think about Chernabog, which was mentioned already, and we'll get to in a minute, that like cares about characters in your discard. Yeah, this is a way to kind of counter that. It's another draw card in Amethyst, but like, do they need it? I don't think so. I think there's other better ways you can probably draw cards.
It replaces itself, right? So it just filters the deck out. I think there is an argument to be made that if this card was a one-costed inkable action song, so it's free to play basically, and it replaces itself. If this just said shuffle your opponent's deck, I feel like there might be merit for it to see play. Purely based off of the amount of stuff we're seeing, and I'm assuming we're going to get more of, that kind of lets them stack, mostly in Amethyst to be fair, but lets them stack their deck. Like, there's just something to be said about disrupting whatever's on the top of their deck based on numerous things, Whether that's enough for it to take up 4 out of the 60, probably not. But it's an interesting ability that I can't really make my mind up on.
Yeah, an interesting thing. So Glimmer points this out. Fun fact, you can choose 0 cards if you want. And if you do, you don't shuffle.
You don't shuffle, that's right. So at that point, it's literally this card replaces itself, basically. Yes, you do have to choose at least one card to get the shuffle side of it,
Yeah.
And singable by everything apart from that one Ariel that can't sing. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
All right.
So
next up.
Next is Maui Soaring Demigod. He is an uninkable 3-cost uncommon ruby card with 5 strength, 2 willpower, and reckless. He's a storyborn hero deity. He also has the ability in my belly. Whenever a character of yours named AA quests, this character gets +1 lore and loses reckless this turn.
That was really good. It has to be like the Scottish guy in Austin Powers. In my belly.
I mean, it's uninkable. Yeah. It also doesn't have rush, and it has reckless. Dies to removal, but it's synergistic with Maui's hook, right? Fish hook.
Yeah. I don't think it's very good, though.
No, I don't either.
Okay. There are a lot of cards today. We can't afford to be going on about ones that we don't think are very good.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, let's see if I can find it, how quick I can do it. Oh, there we go. Look at this. Look at the graphics here. Boom. 3-costed inkable item in Emerald, Robin's Bow. Forest's Gift. You can exert it to deal 1 damage to something that's already damaged. Or a bit of a lark. Whenever a character of yours named Robin Hood quests, you may ready this item. This is this is an uncommon card with art by McKay Anderson. I don't think this is very good either, to be honest.
No, I can maybe see where you play this in a like Steel Emerald ping deck, but even then, I built out that deck a little bit, or what I thought would be a good version of it, with the cards we know currently, and that was like last week, so we probably have an extra 60 cards to work with.
Yeah.
And this didn't make the cut. Like, there was just other stuff that was better to play than this. So.
I think 3-cost uninkable. I don't know why it's saying that the thing already has to be damaged.
Yeah, I feel like
ping.
If that by itself, if it was just deal 1 damage, the rest of the card makes total sense. Uninkable 3-cost, great card. I would love it. But the needs to be damaged is pretty rough.
The fact that there's that much Emerald stuff that cares about damage things, and very few ways for them to get the damage on it. Like, it has to be paired with another color. I don't love that. Not that I want to sit here playing monocolor decks, but I just don't like the reliance on a whole other color just to make a good chunk of these cards even playable.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, next up, a 3-costed inkable 2/3 for 1 lore. Ariel, adventurous collector, Dreamborn hero princess with evasive and inspiring voice. Whenever you play a song, a chosen character of yours gains evasive until the start of your next turn. This is a super rare with art by Javi Salas. I don't mind this. This is a weird one. It's like, it's certainly not anything to write home about. I'm not shouting from the rooftops, but I actually think this finds home in decks.
Yeah, I agree. So I agree with you as well. I think the ability is worthy of a super rare, card. We've seen how strong evasive can be, and you can use this both offensively and defensively. You can, either give something evasive that you don't want to get hit the next turn that has a lot of lore, or you can use it to give one of your characters you want to challenge into an evasive character or something. It's a little weird in that it is also 3 costs like the other Ariel that cares about songs in Amber.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit difficult to like do both if you're trying to do that. But I definitely think this could see play somewhere. I thought this would be really good in like current Ruby Amethyst, but there's already a lot of 3-drop cards in there. Like it's probably one of the most contested spots.
Between the mims and stuff.
Yeah, and you already have like Peter Pan Shadow and other ways to deal with evasive characters in the first place. So I don't think it sees a place in that deck, but this is honestly a card I could see you building around in some way.
This is one of the ones that I want 4 of these. Just like I want to make sure I've got 4 of these, so as that whenever I figure out what it is, I can go and get them. This card is just good. It will be played. This card is bonkers. See, I wouldn't go bonkers. on a scale of unplayable to bonkers, it's not up there, but it's just solid.
Yeah, like I think it's just really playable. Yeah. Like this is a good card, just in general.
Yeah, I mean, give you a Mary or Fox evasive to hit. I mean, that's exactly it. But there are already stuff that does that. Peter Pan Shadow literally does that. Gives Mary and Fox evasive, and it's only seeing some play. So this is good, but I don't think it's necessarily changing anything up too much. I think it's just a solid card that you can put into stuff.
Yeah.
One of the brooms, I don't know which one. You start reading it, I'll find the art.
This is Magic Broom Dancing Duster. It's an uninkable 6-cost card with 3 strength and 3 willpower, 1 lore. It looks like it is a Dreamborn broom with the ability. I love that. Energetic cleaning, I think. When you play this character, if you have a sorcerer character in play, exert an opposing character. The chosen character doesn't ready at the start of their next turn. This is pretty expensive for just that ability, especially considering you could play Elsa. There's a bajillion sorcerers out there, so I don't think like having to see a sorcerer is a big deal, especially in Amethyst. But for it to be uninkable,
especially because you don't want to cast this without Wayward Sorcerer making it cheaper, right? Like,
for sure.
You're definitely going to want Sorcerer out there for that.
I mean, it's a strong ability. Like Elsa herself is super strong, just exerting something, keeping your opponent from questing the next turn, or really doing anything unless they can ready their own character. But I don't know. Its stats are super low. It only does it to 1.
Yeah, 6 uninkable just blows my mind on this. Absolutely blows my mind. Thank you, Zoe. Thanks for stopping by. Zoe listens on the replay the next day. She thought she'd pop in and say hello.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't like. I've said this a little bit now. The only thing I can assume is that the Brooms deck is greater than the sum of its parts. In that, if you put all of these brooms together, it goes. And the only thing I can think is that they did that and instantly went, oh my god, make half of these overcosted and uninkable because otherwise this is insane. Like that, you know what I mean? That's the only thing I can think.
Yeah.
Because how this ended up being a 6-cost uninkable, I have no idea.
I think I'd be okay with that too, because I hope we don't get a big broom package that you can make a whole broom deck with, and then we just leave brooms behind. You know, I hope it's just a regular thing where we just forever will get brooms, and they'll all do little different things, and like there'll be brooms that are better to play than others.
Yeah, and you can just keep tweaking it and making this fun little deck, but it never particularly gets too overpowered. It's going to be very difficult to balance, I think. I'm sure they're doing a great job of it, but that's my only real worry that I don't happen with the screen. I apologize. All right. Next up then, forecasted uninkable 0-1 for 1 lore. Mickey Mouse Trumpeter. This is Mickey Mouse Trumpeter. Hero Dreamborn. I don't know. I'm sorry, I've only got the foreign versions of these in front of me. This says you can exert it and pay 2 to play a character. Any character. It's a legendary.
For free.
For free. Well, for 2, yeah. Yeah, Zoe makes a good point there. That Broom versus Lady Tremaine for a 6 cost uninkable.
Yeah.
Like that's a really great
like,
way of looking at it. Yeah.
yeah. Good call.
Like they're not in the same deck, but yeah, that's crazy. Trey says, "Be careful with this one." It is a frame break. Looks like all legendaries have a frame break. So I've been on the fence about this one. I've been whelmed by it. I've been middling by it. And today I watched a video of somebody who will remain nameless who said that this card is going to break the game. So in response to that, just to kind of level out the sort of this talk of it, I'm gonna say this is terrible.
I can see. Well, I lean more towards your take than this breaks the game.
Yeah.
The ability sounds phenomenal, right? Like you just pay 2 ink, you play a character for free. I could play a Goofy Night for a Day on turn 5 with this card. But like this never this never survives a turn, right? Even with the amount that you can ramp, I just don't think like this works once in 20 games.
Yeah.
And it does awesome when it works. And then every other time it just probably falls flat and you just lose the game.
Yeah. Camille there says Mickey into Giant Goofy. So I just like, no, a big vanilla. I just don't. And then just doesn't fuss me.
Dragonfire or like whatever. I know people hate the argument of like dies for removal, but I'm sorry. That's what it is, especially in Steel.
If anything, it might. If this does find a home somewhere, it might see the prevalence of Dragonfire. It's that like because you'd hate nothing more than this coming down on turn 4, and you're looking at your hand and you're like, oh my god, I haven't got a thing that's going to ping. This is going to pop off next turn. This is going to pop off next turn.
Yeah.
And then whatever comes down, yeah, this comes out late 9 times out of 10. Yeah, you top deck this all the time.
Yeah, it's a card that does get me really excited. Like, there's some legendaries that I'm sure we're all thinking of that are just really underwhelming, and just like don't see much play, even though they have a pretty unique ability. I still think this card is like enough to get excited about. I'll build a super fun just casual deck with this card if I have enough of them. Like I'm already thinking of an Aurora line where like you get Aurora out on turn 3, you play this turn 4. Hopefully you have something really big to play after that.
Yeah.
So that Mickey just doesn't get pinged, or like they have to have swords or something in order to deal with you.
The other line I can see with this is for me, this is quite similar to the Queen from set 2, the Emerald Queen that pitches stuff from your hands to gain the lore.
Oh yeah.
Because again, it's one of those like once in a lifetime it'll work and it'll be incredible. But I actually think they go in the same deck. So you play Emerald Steel, you play Rays and the new Robin Hood vanilla, and you play Goofy Night for the Day, and then you play this and you play the Queen, and it either explodes or does absolutely nothing. And it's
or you
just
lose
deck.
the moment this gets played.
And for that, I love it. It's like it seems to be doing what the legendaries seem to be doing in this game is like, here's a crazy build around that you can try if you want to. And actually, the sort of solid, playable build, like the actual stuff you want to be putting into decks, is usually a super rare. Outside of a handful of stuff that's just good at legendary. I kind of dig that. I don't mind that. So
Elliot's onto something. Play him with Gontu so he can't be attacked. Genius, then Gontu on the rise. Gontu stocks. Going up, baby.
Stocks, yeah. This doesn't get attacked anyway. This gets pinged before it even exerts.
Yeah.
Gonzo ain't doing shit about that. All right, next up.
Okay, next up we have Orville Flying Ace, I think. That's an inkable 2-cost common card in Amber with 1 strength, 4 willpower, 1 lore. Just a vanilla, but I could see where this gets played possibly with
that
4 willpower. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 willpower is definitely interesting.
Yeah, Amber loves going wide, loves kind of the low to the ground, go wide aggro decks. And, something with this much willpower might be a little bit tough to get rid of. So yeah, I dig it.
If this was 2 lore, I'd absolutely adore it. Like you could I don't know how you'd balance that out, but yeah, this survives a lot of stuff. 2 hits, smash, swords. It's just not doing much, but I do like it.
I could see this in we'll get to Lucky in a little bit, but like Lucky cares about having lots of like at least 4 characters on board. I could see this being played in a Lucky deck just for like the fact that it survives Smash and all the other types.
And just it comes down a little bit before Lucky and it's just left alone because you're not going to put any effort into getting rid of it, right?
Yeah,
maybe that's the trick. Next up, then a 1-costed inkable action in Amber. Boss's Orders. Chosen character gains support this turn. This is a color shifted work together, and I don't think this ever gets played ever.
I just think of the Pokemon card Boss's Orders.
Yeah, which was like kind of broken, right? Like, isn't it really good?
It's still broken. Yeah, it's still used.
So it doesn't live up to its name.
No, not even a little bit.
I think this is unplayable. I like work together is unplayable. I think this is unplayable.
Yeah, I agree.
Like first look at Madame Medusa from Rescuers. Big fan of Rescuers. We've been talking a lot. I spoke about it on this podcast I recorded earlier, and we were talking about it in one of our groups. Those like core memories that you form from maybe watching a movie a little younger than you should be. The stuff that really sort of scars you for life. And like my go-to is always The Witches by Roald Dahl, the Angelica Houston pulling her skin off. I remember watching that at about 6, just like that. But the other one that lives rent-free in my head is when Medusa takes her makeup off and she sits there and peels the eyelashes off. Like, I know it's a completely normal thing for women to do, but as a kid, I was like, she's taking her eyelashes off? Like, and still now, it's burnt into my brain. So I'm excited to see a Madame Medusa. I'm not fussed about this card at all.
Yeah.
Never mind. All right, next up.
Next up, we have Cubby, Mighty Lost Boy, an inkable 4-cost common card in Emerald with 3 strength, 5 willpower, 1 lore. Storyborn ally, has the ability The Bear. Great show, by the way. Whenever this character moves to a location, he gets +3 strength this turn.
Yeah. I love the bear. That's about all I got to say for this. Really. We want to see location stuff. This isn't it. It's well documented how I feel about strength boosts in this game.
Yeah, not only is it a strength boost on a card, but it's a card that like you have to be at a location for. And so far, I've just not been impressed with locations. Starter decks have been revealed, and a couple people that have play tested with them, I've heard say like locations aren't as bad as they feel. We'll wait and see. I'm still not convinced, but
yeah. So my argument, I feel like it's okay to say this. So we were watching Eric's sort of Twitter stream where he showed off the starter decks, and he said actually the locations usually stick around a lot longer than you'd think, and actually accrue some decent lore. I was like, yes, against another starter deck they do, and that's I think is the problem really is that. You haven't got all of the tools at your disposal. So, if Cubby was a pirate instead, he would be amazing. Yes, he would. Well, I don't know about amazing. He'd be more playable.
Yeah.
But again, I think relying on that Jolly Roger to make the pirates good is a bit of a trap.
Yeah.
Although it does make them more interesting, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next up, a 2-costed inkable 2/2 for 2 lore, Genio. This is just, I love, my favorite thing about Lorcana getting spread out for reveal season is that we get these awesome translations. This is Aurora from set 1. Stop putting amazing art on vanillas, Ravensburger.
You can do both. You can put a great art on a very playable card.
This is so good. Like, this is so clever. This is, I think, this is the first, like, and it makes sense as well because, like, Genie breaks the fourth wall a lot. Like, he references stuff that he wouldn't know about. He talks to the camera. The fact that this is the first card where the character knows he's on a card. Like, he fits the card space, you know? Like, it's just incredible.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. This card gives me claustrophobia.
Yeah.
Just watching, I think about being in Genie's spot and I'm just like, ooh, that's uncomfortable.
I just realized
it's so well done.
I'd somewhat ironically got him really small on the screen as well. There we go, made him big. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I want Genie to have a good flood. Like, he does have a Floodborn, doesn't really see any play. I want him to have a good Floodborn so that this matters more. This is a honey wizard level of offensiveness from good art being put on a vanilla.
They keep doing it.
I know.
They keep doing it. Did it with Robin Hood. Did it with Honey Wizard. Now with Genio.
It won't land, Genio. It won't. It won't. We will not let it fly, Ravensburger. Sort it out. All right.
Get your stuff together. Okay. Next is Gyro Gearloose, an inkable 3-cost rare card in Sapphire with 1 strength, 4 willpower, and 1 lore. He's a Storyborn ally inventor with the ability, now try to keep up. You can exert Gyro and put an item card from your discard on the top of your deck. I kind of dig this. It's better than the next item you play is reduced by 1. And like, I was thinking right now, I mean, you really have Nick Wilde that can get Popsicle back from the discard, and you have Tamatoa that can, get the thing back, and Tamatoa is really expensive. So having a card or a character that can recur some items, I think could actually be pretty useful.
I think this, for me personally, I don't play items much, but if I was looking at building an item deck, I think this replaces Nick Wilde for me.
Oh, yeah.
Because, yes, Nick is on play, right?
Yes, Nick is on play.
But it's just the Popsicle, so the fact that this brings back whatever you like, Esbjorn says, I think they keep putting amazing art onto terrible or uninspiring cards to give collectors something to look forward to. The thing is, first of all, it's not a terrible or uninspiring card. It's a vanilla, but it is what it is. No, at no point do they ever go to an artist and say, here's what we'd like you to do. By the way, it's just a 2-drop vanilla, so you can phone it in, man. You phone this in, right? Like, every single artist who's a piece of art for this game is going to put their all into it and going to make the best thing they can make, right? It's just like, they could have, you don't know what brief they gave to that artist, like they could have said, we need a little Genie, and they've gone back and seen him where he's all locked up in the thing and made that incredible piece. And at that point, they probably can't go, this is too good for that crap card. Hold on. Because then they've got to go to somebody else and admit that the thing they had done was too good, So it is what it is. Some stuff's always going to be better. The good thing about this game, I guess, in some ways, is that you can never completely discount these sort of small statted vanillas, because there's always a chance that one day they become a target for a Floodborn that's playable, right? So at least there's that.
I also like that, like, it's not the worst that there's really great art on what otherwise would be a pretty disappointing card to like pull in a pack. Like, if a vanilla card, I'm not saying Genie's unplayable, because like a 2/2 with 2 is fine. But it's just nice because, like, I'll open the pack. He's a common, right?
Yeah.
He's just common. No, he's an uncommon card. You open him. And it's like, oh, cool, there's the Genie card that looks really cool. And it's like, he doesn't have any special abilities, but at least you can, really appreciate the card and the art when you pull it.
Yeah.
Zoe brings up a good point with Gyro. The only thing I don't like about this is the whole put on top of your deck, because you're effectively losing a draw and your opponent knows what you're drawing that turn. I agree that if that's all you're doing, it's probably not worth it. But I think comboed with some either another ink or other cards that will let you like draw, you kind of preemptively put this on the top of your deck, then draw it. With another card.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I don't like stuff going to the top of the deck until I saw the Magica De Spells that we'll get onto in a moment that have instantly made Amethyst the second color for item decks, and therefore gives you all of the card draw you need to get that straight off the top of your deck into your hand, right? So actually, I think this purely the fact that Magica De Spell is Amethyst makes this a better card, as weird as that sounds. Yeah.
Oh, Amethyst.
Right. Good old Amethyst. When will it ever catch a break, eh?
What aren't they good at?
Next up, 5-costed Inkable 3/5 for 2 lore. Kida, Protector of Atlantis, Floodborn Hero, Princess, Shift 3. Perhaps we can save our future. Whenever you play this character, all characters on the board at the time get -3 strength until the start of your next turn. This is a legendary with art by Adam Fenton. Woo-wee, I love it.
This is really good.
I think it's great. Not only do I think it's great, I think it was fascinating to see how many people didn't think it was great.
This is phenomenal. Yeah. Like this goes in any sort of aggressive deck running Amber, or I mean, it's probably great in a mid-range deck too, especially, I don't know. The Kida Bodyguard is a pretty good shift on top of this too. You also have the Amber
the Goon,
Kida to shift onto it. Yeah. Like this is a great card for either you quest with everything and then you want it all to live next turn, so you play Kida, and like sure your opponent can play a rush character, but unless they have a bunch of rush characters, they're probably only taking out one thing. Or you challenge and clear the board with your stuff and don't want any repercussions, so you play Kida to keep them from doing that. Like this is just a great card all around.
I think so. I think like it obviously goes in just like a heavy aggro deck, like a just turning stuff sideways deck. I think it goes really well into a bodyguard focused deck as well, like an Amber Steel bodyguard focused deck, purely because like you say, it shuts everything down. Okay, they might have a rush character. It's getting rid of a bodyguard and that's it. It's just, this is really great. Why aren't people talking about bouncing this with Snake? Yeah.
I don't think it like.
You're giving stuff -6 then, I suppose.
Yeah, like I did think about this, and it's a fun idea. I just think you wouldn't really see the benefits of it except for really niche scenarios. And like to do that, you also have to run Amethyst. Amethyst is good, so I'm not going to act like that's a bad thing. But giving things -6 is cool. I just think it might be a little bit overkill sometimes. And for anybody for the chat that doesn't know, because I want to go ahead and explain this because I was confused about it a little bit. When Kida gives something -3 and then it goes to your turn, that -3 is still kind of like hovering over the card, for lack of a better term. And like if you have a card that gives another card +3 strength, you have to add those together. So like let's say you had a Simba bodyguard on board and he has 2 strength, and your opponent plays Kida. Now your Simba has 0 strength, but technically it has -3 strength. It can't have negative strength, so it doesn't go down to -1, just stays at 0. But then if you gave your Simba +3 strength next turn, because even though your Simba is technically at 0 strength, it doesn't go up to 3 strength because you gave it +3. You have to add that all the modifiers get added together. So it's -3 and then +3, and then it would have 2 strength again. So if you give something -6, then that would be even more difficult for your opponent to like be able to do anything effectively with your board the next turn.
Yeah. AJ's points out it's not about giving something -6, it's about giving it -3 multiple turns. And yeah, there's something said about not necessarily questing with this, but playing it again. But Gameplay says, what's challenging in this meta unless things really change? Everything's challenging Lilo's and Pinocchio's and anything else that's turning sideways. And everything's going into them. This pretty much exclusively goes into either a heavy aggro deck or a bodyguard focused deck that just needs to turn sideways and wants to turn sideways and wins by turning sideways. If you put this down on 3, well, you're probably not going to want to put this down on 3. You're probably going to want to put this down on 5, but you'd still like to shift it, I think. So maybe you want to shift this on 3 because you want it to quest itself when it comes out. But if you've got, say, like a Lilo and 2 bodyguards down that quest for 1 each, and then this comes down shifted, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lore that will most likely get to be done twice. So you're probably gaining 12 lore before they've done much about it.
Yeah.
Steel just pops all anyway, though. Yes, but you're also playing this with bare necessities that we'll get onto in a moment.
Well, and on top of that, there's already a Steel Amber Bodyguard aggro deck that literally does this just without Kida and then plays Tiana and like empties your hand so your opponent can't play songs or actions or anything against it. So it's definitely has legs. It will see play, and I expect it to be in one of the better aggro decks. Yeah, and I
think aggro's coming back in set 3 because of key cards like Ursula and Bare Necessities that are going to help get rid of those. Let's be honest, 2 or 3 cards in the game that are currently holding aggro back, which is Grab Your Sword, Be Prepared. A handful of other issues. So, I think it's great. I think TCG players versus arithmetic battle waged for nearly 40 years. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, but if you don't think this card is good, you are wrong. You are entitled to that wrong opinion. I also think it is a shoe-in for an enchanted. I know Rochelle joked about the fact that everything rare and above gets claimed to be an enchanted, but if this isn't, I'll be gobsmacked. One thing I haven't watched Treasure Planet fully for Atlantis fully for a long time. I watched it the other day. Like I totally forgot that she wasn't yellow. Like I didn't realize that this is done for the art of this card to fit it in with amber. She's more. It's like a blue color, right? Yeah, Floodborn. Yeah. So it's beautiful though.
Yeah, I would love to see this as enchanted for multiple reasons. I mean, Atlantis is my favorite movie. I'd absolutely collect this card as an enchanted. If we get this and a Helga enchanted, which like I know people like mention Helga enchanted. I'm not like sold that we get a Helga enchanted. If we do, that'd be phenomenal. But man, I'd grab both of those in a heartbeat for sure, just to have.
All right. Next,
we have Little John, Resourceful Outlaw. He's an inkable 6 cost, super rare and steel with 4 strength, 5 willpower, and 2 lore. He's a Floodborn hero, so he can shift for 4, and he has the ability, okay, big shot. While this character is exerted, your characters with Bodyguard gain resist +1 and get +1 lore. This card really excites me. I don't know that it's going to be like amazing in the meta or anything, but I've loved Bodyguards. I've loved Musketeers. I've wanted to make a like just better version of that deck, and being able to play this and benefit from Bodyguards and give them all resist so they're harder to get rid of, and extra lore so you're like pushing your win condition even further because you're questing with them anyway because you need them to be exerted. Like, it's just all good things. And unfortunately, I don't think we have a great shift target for this, right?
We do. Yeah. He's a bodyguard. The shift target is a bodyguard.
Is he a 3 cost or a 4 cost?
He's a 3. He's here.
Oh, okay, so never mind.
I'll bring him up on screen so we can look at them both. How's that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Because I think they both go into the Kida deck as well.
I mean, probably.
Okay, yeah, here's the other one then. 3-costed, inkable, 2/4 for 1. Petit Jean. Bodyguard, and on your turn, evasive.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's great. So he shifts perfectly onto it. If he doesn't shift onto it, or you've got 2 out, the little one gets buffed from the big one. These are great.
Yeah. I see a lot of people saying they wish the bigger one had bodyguard. I actually think that's bad because you want Little John to stay alive. Otherwise, the ability doesn't work anymore.
He must be protected by bodyguards. Yeah, he doesn't want to be a bodyguard himself. Yeah.
You have a lot of bodyguards on board to make sure that Little John stays alive so that they all can continue to quest for more and stay more difficult to challenge. Because otherwise, you could challenge Little John, then all your bodyguards lose resist, and now,
Yeah, no, this doesn't want bodyguard. I remember saying that even in set 1. If everything is bodyguard, then nothing is, right? Like this doesn't want to be a bodyguard. This is happy to sit behind them. Put him in Tiana's palace. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the bodyguards are kind of doing that anyway, right?
Yeah, I think that's a little overkill.
You're all trying to make locations work. I'm not seeing it. But I think these are both good. I think these are both playable. Yeah.
At the very least, I'll build a deck out of these two just for fun and play it.
All right, another broom. 5 costed uninkable, 4/4 for 2 lore.
Okay.
Magic broom has rush and something else. When you play this character, you can put brooms back in your deck from discard.
You may shuffle all broom characters from your discard to your deck.
Yeah.
I think this is pretty good.
Yeah, it's okay. And again, perhaps slightly overcosted, but a lot more acceptable.
Yeah. I mean, I think a 4/4 with rush, I think is notable, especially the 4 willpower.
Yeah.
It's a little obviously it's not as cheap as something like Fox or even like Rafiki, but it can survive a good deal of the time with 4 willpower. And not to mention, you just refill your deck with brooms so that you can keep drawing them and hopefully, pay them for cheap. Quests for pretty well too, if it's just out there and can quest. And I think hopefully you're playing him for 4 costs instead of 5 anyway.
Yeah. I think the fact that it quests well, it kind of has to with it being uninkable, as weird as that sounds, because there's sometimes this might be all you've got in your hand and there's nothing to hit or nothing that's going to hit it. You're like, well, at least I can put it down and next turn it'll quest for 2. So I feel like it has to kind of be a little bit of a toolbox with the fact that it's uninkable. But I don't mind this. I still don't think I've seen anything as good as the very first broom we got. And even that's not incredible. So again, whether or not the broom deck is just a sum of all of its parts, at the minute I don't know. All right, next up,
we have Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. She's an inkable 5-cost card in Amethyst with 2 strength, 3 willpower, and 2 lore. She's a Storyborn villain sorcerer with 2 abilities. The first one, Dark Knowledge. Whenever this character quests, you may draw a card. And Divination. During your turn, whenever you draw a card, you may move 1 damage counter from chosen character to chosen opposing character. I don't love this card, mainly because its stats are so small.
Squishy.
Yeah. It has really strong ability. Don't get me wrong, but it's just another one of those cards. You see it hit the board, and a lot of times you probably have to get rid of it if you can, and it probably won't be that difficult to get rid of on 5. Not to mention, it's another card that needs to survive a turn. And I'll be honest, the moment that I see a card doesn't really do anything the turn it's played. Granted, you can play this and then draw cards.
Yeah, and I think that's where the value is probably. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm iffy on this one. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's great.
I think it's I think if it was, I'd take a 1/4. Honestly, because I don't need this to have a very strong strength, and that extra one in the butt would make a big difference. I think so. I would take a 1/4 over a 2/3 here, But I don't mind it. It's in a color that's drawing a lot anyway. I need to put him. I need to put cards on the table to really figure out the value of moving damage around.
Yeah,
because I think it could be crazy good, but I'm struggling to kind of. I'm struggling to sort of obscure it just in my mind, you know.
I agree. It's difficult. It's difficult, and I think part of the reason I'm turned off by it a little bit is I don't feel like characters keep damage very often in this game unless it's sort of a like grab your sword, like collateral damage sort of thing where you play your swords to clear some stuff and there's a few things left over. But otherwise, I think stuff just stays banished unless you have ways of damaging it yourself. So,
well, it's it's a nice way to finish something off. You can always hit something that doesn't kick back much. Move damage over. Like I know it doesn't really. It's not the sort of thing that sees too much play. It's not too much of a worry. But all of the stuff that if it's banished in a challenge, Cheshire Cats, Flynn Riders, that kind of thing. If you can hit something else and then move the damage over to it, there's a lot of like neat lines. But yeah, you're right. I don't know how much of it's actually happening.
I can see that now that you mentioned that. If Emerald gets very big, they have a ton of those cards that are like when this is challenged. This could definitely be a counter to that a little bit. Yeah, just banishing them in ways where you don't have to challenge, or you only have to challenge one or two because they usually don't hit for very hard.
Well, that's it. Yeah, like you could hit, that 0-3 Treasure Cat. You could hit it with this, and then. If there's damage somewhere else, you can move it over to finish it off. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I'm maybe trying to, fix a problem that isn't really there. I'm not sure. One thing I will say is I think this is a good possibility for a Enchanted as well. Lots of legendary, popular character, fun abilities. We don't have a Maleficent yet. It's kind of crazy that we don't have a Maleficent Enchanted. And it's a kind of a classic look for her as well. So it would make a good Enchanted. It's not, it's not a different look for her. Yeah, I think this will make a good Enchanted. Amethyst Steel Bodyguards with someone singing Friends the turn it's played. Sure, that sounds good. Again, if like you say, people aren't swinging into something unless they kill it. It's going to be down to you to find the damage to move. For this, that's going to be the trick. Where are you generating damage from to move it around how you want?
Justin, we'll probably get to that in a minute. We'll talk about the Enchanted that got revealed today, and we'll probably discuss that then.
You guys going to discuss the 80 Enchanted theory? Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. He says in about an hour and a half.
In about 3 hours, we'll be talking about it. See you tomorrow morning.
Next up, 7-costed Inkable 8/8 for 1 lore Maui Belen. That's whale. Story 1. Hero deity. This mission is over. This character doesn't ready at the start of your turn, and not. Oh man, I don't know what the Jintaquiti pa. Je suis là. I am. Oh, I don't know. Pay 2. Ready this character. It can't quest for the rest of the turn. What's that second ability say?
2 ink, ready this character.
No, the name of the ability. What's it called?
The name of it? Don't worry, I'm here.
Don't worry. That was the word I didn't know. Not again. Nice reference. But remember, the whale never said not again. It was the part of Petunias that said not again. All right. What do we think of this?
I kind of wish when you played this, it just exploded. Like it just exploded everything on the board. I know that's not what it does, but I don't know. I feel like it'd be fitting. Anyway, the character doesn't ready. That's pretty bad. You can pay ink to ready it, but it can never quest.
Quest for 1. Oh yeah, it can never. Why is there a lore on it? I suppose other things can ready it. I suppose, but.
Well, is there anything that can ready a character and then that character can quest? I don't think so. It only quests once, and then it can never quest again. But to be fair, I don't think that's the point of this card. I think
No,
similar
it's a Scar.
Similar to like a Scar. Yeah, you play it and you challenge something and you pay ink to ready it to challenge more things and just keep doing that.
Yeah, are you happy hitting this off of Mufasa?
No.
Okay.
I'm not.
That's it. I'm trying to think where it goes. Like, I don't know why it exists.
Well, like in a Mufasa deck, I feel like you're just trying to quest. You're trying to quest out, and this is the polar opposite of this.
Yeah. Oh, you can quest if you leave it ready at the end of your turn. Yes, of course. So you can
I guess you're
pay
right.
2 once it's done, and then it can start off by questing.
That's too many hoops to go through,
isn't it? Big whale-sized hoops. This is a worse Scar Vicious Cheetah. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, and I tried my hardest to make that work in like a challenger focused deck instead of being prepared, and it just didn't happen.
I'm a little annoyed and scared at how bad Ruby and Steel are trying to do this challenger thing.
Yeah,
it's like as many cards as you make that would be great at it. We just saw with this chapter that we just won't. We won't leave our
either locations make stuff swing more, or we still haven't seen a few cards that just say challenge what you like or everything exerts, or that kind of thing. Like we just need to see more of that. There is literally a card in the game that is relatively cheap and says the character can hit whatever it likes, and I've never seen it played once, right? So who knows? All right, next we have Mr. Smee, Clumsy Sailor. He's an inkable 2-cost uncommon card in Steel. He has 3 strength, 3 willpower, 2 lore. Storyborn ally pirate. Ooh la la la. At the end of your turn, if this character is exerted, while you do not have a captain character in play, deal 1 damage to this character. I actually like this card. Yeah, me too. This is good. Pretty good. Yeah. I think I'd play this without a captain on board, to be honest. Yeah, I think it's just a good 2-drop. I think you get 6 lore out of this because the opponent leaves it alone and is like, well, it's going to die in a minute. I don't know about that, but there's potential to stay. Like, I mean, if it quests twice, that's just mega value, right? Yeah, and it's a pirate in Ruby Steel Pirates. It's inkable. Chances are you've played Forceful Duelist turn 1. What? Oh yeah, you can play that turn 1. Play that turn 1. Play this. It's great. I think it's great. That's pretty good. Yeah, because you usually keep hook. I mean, unless your opponent just teeth and ambitions it or cannons your hook or whatever, you just usually keep hook unexerted for the most part. Till he's ready. Yeah. Maleficent enabler. That's a fair point. Same where you get your damage from. This is it. Yeah, you're right. Amethyst has more challenger stuff than Steel. Yeah, no. Well, Steel has got a lot of stuff that cares about a lot of Simba and a lot of like when this banishes or when this challenges do X or X happens. Captain, no captain sets it up for Maleficent or Rapunzel. Yeah, I think this is a bit of a sleeper. I think this finds its way into some decks. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we love it. It's better than the last one anyway. The last Smee, yeah. Although he did see a little bit of play. You remember when people were trying to make princess decks work and he was like Princess Smee because there wasn't enough amber things with big butts? People were using him. Yeah. All right, next up, 2-costed, 2/3 for 1 lore, Nutsy, Vulture Henchman. We'll bring up the other one as well because they work together. Oh man, what's his name? What is the other one? What's his name? Trigger. Trying to find it. I can't see it on the sheet, but his name's Trigger. I'm trying to find it on the sheet. I don't even know what it does. Was it? How far ago was it revealed? It was after. It came out after Nutsy. I know that much. Nutsy. That's how they talk. All right, there we go. Okay. Trigger, like it says in the flavor text. Oh yeah, Nutsy, button your beak. Thanks. Thank you. We appreciate your helping in the chat. You remember that you're on like a 30-second delay, so we usually got there.
to speed it up a little bit.
But so sort your act out. Yeah, and then Trigger is a 2-costed inkable 3/1 for 1 lore that says Nutsy gets +1 lore. This is a weird combo. This.
Yeah, it's not good for curve either. Really.
No, you play this on. You play the 2-drop on 3, but just like weird stat lines and just
So awkward. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a Ruby deck where you would want to play this and what you're pairing it with, to be honest.
Yeah, right now I like all these little things that just do a little, a little bit of challenge or they get a little low. Like, unless they say pirate on them now, I'm just not interested. Like, you pirate? No? All right, move along.
Yeah.
That was nutsy. Patch is next. You want to take Patch while I bring him up?
Sure. So next is Stain, which was the it was the the translation.
Oh, was it? Some of those have been so good this week.
So funny. Yeah. I laughed at this one. Patch. Google thought it was Stain, so I'll never not think of Stain when I see this card. Anyway, it's Patch, inkable, 4-cost, common card in Amber. He has 3 strength, 4 willpower, 1 lore. He's a storyborn puppy with the ability Bark. You can exert him. And the chosen character gets -2 strength until the start of your next turn. What other cards care about puppies? Are there any?
So that we haven't really seen like a true puppy payoff, as in. I said that in Scrappy Doo's voice in my head. Puppy payoff. So we haven't seen a true puppy payoff yet, in as much as there's nothing that says for every puppy ... or each puppy ... I will put money. I won't put money. I will put
how much money?
I will put a hearty handshake on Perdita being the puppy payoff. The other Amber legendary that we've not seen yet, which is going to be Perdita. She'll say
a legendary.
Yeah, because her art has got frame breaks on it, and so far only legendaries have that.
Oh, that's a good catch.
You heard it here first, folks. Actually, I never saw it. It was somebody else pointed that out. I'm totally stealing that off somebody, but I forget who it was. But yeah, that there was a picture. It was like it was a little banner that was used on some tournament or something. And it got Pongo, Purdy, and Lucky, and the generic puppy, and we haven't seen Perdita puppy payoff yet. But I feel like Perdita puppy payoff. Either she quests for a lore for each puppy you've got out, or she gives all the puppies +1 lore or something. Like, it needs to be lore. If it's strength or willpower, the deck fails. Yeah, it needs to be a lore payoff. But outside of that, there are payoffs that care about questers, that like 99 puppies, and Lucky is very good as well. But like, this doesn't trigger Lucky. So this one's the only one that really doesn't fit for me. Yeah.
The only thing that I can think is similar to Kida, where like you give something on the opponent's side of the board less strength, so it can't challenge into your other stuff. But I don't think that's worth running. Not for 4 costs and 1 lore, to be honest with you.
No. What about Lantern payoff for puppies? What's Lantern payoff?
What do you mean? I don't know.
No, I don't want Lantern payoffs. We have the 99 puppies card. We do.
Yeah.
But it's not.
You don't have to play puppies for that.
Yeah, we're looking for the big finish. Like, what 99 puppies just says characters get 1 lore. So yes, it probably goes into a deck that plays all the puppies. But so far we don't. There's no reason to play this thinking we need to get the number of puppies up.
Yeah, I care about that puppy classification.
Yeah, specifically. Yeah. So far, there's nothing yet. There's things that get close. If Perdita's pay less, that's the second best thing to lore, but for me personally, it needs to be lore.
What if it was draw a card for every puppy in play?
That's the other good thing it could be. Pay less, draw in this order. Third is pay less for them. Second is draw cards for them. Top is gain lore for them. Every puppy character gains 1 lore for each other puppy character in play.
That, as broken as that would be, I would love that to just
throw Perdita down.
Everything has 1 million lore. Yeah.
No, that would be broken because you'd only need 4 puppies out for her to come down and be game from 0 lore.
Yeah.
Like chances are, once she's coming down, you've already gained lore. You'd need 2 or 3 other puppies out for that. Way too broken. I wonder if Perdita has 99 puppies effect, but for puppy characters, anything like that, I genuinely think it's worth paying attention to. Anything else, less so. All right, we have a Peter Pan to look at.
Peter Pan is Peter Pan Neverland Hero, inkable 3-cost card, common in Ruby, with 1 strength, 3 willpower, 2 lore. He has Rush and the ability Overhear Tink. While you have a character named Tinkerbell in play, this character gets +2 strength. A 1 strength character with Rush is weird. I think this card. I think this is a. This is a really fun card for. I forget the name of the format.
It's whatever you want it to be, Brandon. You know how I feel about formats being named by the general public. It must be formed. It must be formed through general consensus. Nobody gets to decide what these formats are called. So you call it whatever you like.
I don't know what I would call it. It's the one where you play a deck of a single movie.
Yeah. There's been a few going around. There's one where it's like 2 movies, double feature, stories. I quite like stories.
Stories, I think, is what I was thinking of. What I was trying to think of.
I quite like stories. Although I saw Knive did a thing where he built a few decks to try out at his store using that, and it was 2 movies. You could use 2 franchises, and he built Ruby. He built Jungle Book, Sword in the Stone, and the Jungle Book cards were Hypnotize and Shere Khan. And the Sword in the Stone was just the Merlin Min package. I was like, this is just Ruby Amethyst with more steps, buddy. Like, I'm not allowing this.
It's like I saw Steadfast post that they did a fun format where it was 2 inks, like just the normal
regular deck,
rules,
but you could
play 1 card from a 3rd ink.
A play set of a card.
I think it was like it was just Ruby Amethyst and then Rapunzel.
That was his Ruby Amethyst, but Rapunzel in it. Yeah, I know. So we've done that in Magic before. Because Commander, the way you play Commander is 1 card, whatever the color identities of the Commander, that's the colors you can use in the deck. So we played it once where you can just add a color to your Commander card. So the actual card itself stays the same, but if it's a green card, you can make it green-black, and then it means you're allowed black cards in the deck, and it absolutely breaks the game. Like you don't realize how much care and time goes into building these color wheels properly and stuff. I made this most horrific deck that was just so offensive that couldn't normally happen, and that's I find with a lot of these is that's all you're gonna get. You're just gonna get these people think that they're more of a casual format, but actually it's the game's designed this way for a reason. The game says 2 colors for a reason.
Yeah.
No. I think the big problem with this is we don't really have a Tink that's coming out before him, right? At the minute.
Not a 2-cost Tink.
Yeah.
No.
So maybe it becomes a bit more interesting with a 1 or 2 cost Tink if that also then cares about pans. But
there's a 4-cost Tink that we just got recently.
Yeah.
The amber one.
Yeah, the one
that you
with
play after this. But
Biagast on its play.
That's kind of not helpful when Peter Pan has Rush. That's not really the order you're trying to play things.
To be fair, Knife was randomly assigned his franchises. I thought he built the decks. Sorry, go on.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I didn't pay much attention to this card when we first saw it. I saw Rush, and then
I saw Rush and 1, and I was like, all right. Well.
Yeah, I was gonna say a 1-strength Rush that has to see a specific character, and I said, okay, whatever. Yeah. But the more that I look at this card, the more excited that I get about a stories format or a movie format.
Yeah.
Because this is the exact type of card that sees much more play in a format like that, where you're playing a bajillion Tinkerbells because you're playing Peter Pan, and yeah.
All right, we'll do the two Robin Hoods together, I think.
Okay, I'm excited for these
because they're they go together, right? So we have a one-costed Inkable 2/2 for 1 Robin Hood Beloved Outlaw, Storyborn Hero Goon, and then we also have a 5-cost. I like the fact that Goon has become the name for the one-costed 2/2 for 1. Like, I'm more than happy for them to stay as Goons, and then a 5-costed Inkable 3/6 for 2 Robin Hood Champion of Sherwood, Floodborn Hero is Shift 3. Skilled combatant. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, gain 2 lore, and the good of others. Whenever this character is banished in a challenge, you may draw a card. I like it.
Wowza.
Yeah.
This is great.
I think so as well. It's again though, is it great? Because we've just gone on about how the whole challenging stuff doesn't work. This is one that just says it.
I think that is icing on the cake for this card.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that I really liked Captain Hook, the Floodborn Captain Hook, is because you can shift him on 3 and he's a 5-cost.
Yeah, sings all those songs.
He can sing all those awesome steel songs. Robin Hood is inkable. Has the thing where, like, if he is challenging, he's gaining lore. If he's questing, he's gaining lore. And he usually replaces himself, because when he's banished in a challenge, you draw a card. I'm opening all the product that I'm going to buy on release day, and then however many of these I didn't pull, I'm going to buy a playset.
You're going to go buy. You think this one is do you think this is the next Tragic Hero? It'll just trickle up.
I don't know that it's as strong as Tragic Hero, but it might be, just because it's a card that can shift so well and has like great stats. I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to see the worst thing about this card is that it has an ability that is based on challenging.
Yeah.
But even then, like, it's not bad, and it does a bunch of other stuff.
6 willpower, our biggest shift 3, but I think it might be. Yeah, because even that Jafar is a 3. It's a
3/4.
3/4. He's shift 2. Yeah, the Captain Hook is a 4.
2/5.
2/5. Yeah. This is really good. And I love the idea of sticking a Bucky in between them as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like Robin Hood on 1, Bucky on 2. Play this on 5. Lots of cool stuff that you can do.
Yeah. It may help the challenger.
Oh, Pluto shift 3. That's a good call.
No. Pluto. He's Oh, I'm getting all confused. On Common Cardboard, it may help the Challenge Matters deck come into reality. I don't know. It's just more stuff that wants to do it. I think the Challenge Matters deck needs much more easy and cheap ways of generating the challenge. So either exerting their stuff in Ruby or Steel, or like something that's characters here can challenge unexerted characters. There you go. There's a Steel location I want to see.
Yeah, the whole Challenging Matters deck doesn't need more cards that benefit from challenging.
No, it needs ways to allow that challenge to happen. Yeah, that's what it needs. Yeah. It needs more picker fights.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I love this card. I think this card will easily be a $15, legendary card at least.
We'll see. I think you're right. Oh, that was "we'll see," but I think you're right in your. Go ahead.
Next, we have Sheriff of Nottingham, a corrupt official, an uninkable 4-cost, super rare in steel with 2 strength, 4 willpower, and 1 lore. He has the ability he's a Storyborn hero and has the ability taxes should hurt. They do. Whenever you discard a card, you may deal 1 damage to chosen opposing character. I think this is a pretty good card too.
Yeah, Yeah, I kind of dig this. I mean, obviously, I want to see some more self-discard stuff. There's quite a bit already in Steel that you don't really think about as self-discard, but there's a lot of like what a Magic player will call looting, which is draw one, discard. All of those trigger this. You know, your Cinderellas, your Simbas, your Tinks, your little Tinks. Obviously, a whole new world. Say again, sorry?
Ransack.
Yeah. God, you forget about Ransack, don't you? Draw 2,
I don't think
discard
it's good.
2.
But...
No, but draw 2, discard 2, deal 2 damage.
Yeah.
Might, maybe becomes better. Yeah. But yeah, I think this is okay. I feel like it's going to be played a lot as like a whole new world proofing. You know, go on, whole new world me, I dare you.
Yeah, I see a lot of people say, "Oh, this would be really good with a whole new world," and I don't like that because that's a bad whole new world for you.
Yeah,
because the more cards you discard, the better Sheriff Nottingham gets.
Yeah,
and like it's inverse, and like although yes, that's something you can do. I also think generally, if you're trying to do that much damage on a board, I mean. You can't stack the damage, so you can't do like 5 to one character and then 2 to another, or however many cards you have in hand. But you can probably do just as much damage with just any of the other deal damage cards in Steel, or swords or something.
Yeah, like you say, Tink is spreading out 1 each, Swords is doing 2 each, but this you can, this gets enough to kill it, and then I'll start stacking it up over here. And it's another one that, maybe for moving damage around, maybe Amethyst Steel is a thing that wants to move damage around, I don't know. First one to care about your own discard. It is the new Simba. Lets you do Ransack on challenge. I think we'll get to him in a moment. Okay. He's next, actually.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Simba, Fighting Prince. His name is that one, isn't it? Yeah, Prince Combatif. 7 costed, uninkable, 5/7 for 2 lore. Dreamborn hero prince. And when this is it challenges or when it banishes a challenge? When it banishes in a challenge,
banishes.
So when it banishes something in a challenge, which it's gonna do. It's a 5/7.
It probably will. Yeah.
Yeah. You can draw 2, discard 2, or just deal 2 damage.
Also, when you play this character,
it's on play as well. That's pretty good. I don't know. This is good. Again, it's challenging matters. Is it going to be a thing?
This is interesting. Yeah, I mean, the challenging matters thing, we'll see. But specifically with the Sheriff of Nottingham card, your 2 options, you can draw 2 and then discard 2, or deal 2. So then I guess it's like, do you want the draw and discard and deal 2?
If Sheriff of Nottingham's out, you get both.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but I think if he's not, you're probably just going to use the deal 2, right? Like
deal
2. It's basically a mini. It's kind of a big tink. In fact, it is a big tink.
Yeah. It's pretty close.
Big tink is when
stats 4/5.
4. Yeah, 4/5 because Mary kills it. Yeah, 4/5.
4/5.
So 4/5 that does that
with 2. Sorry.
Yeah. So it started well.
I don't hate it. It does something on play, which is cool. I'm fine with that. If that wasn't there, I'd say this card was pretty bad. But I don't know. I'd play around with this card a little bit. Worth testing at least.
I think so. Yeah. Next up.
Next up we have Sir Hiss, Aggravating Asp. Yeah. An inkable 2 cost, an emerald. Common card, Dreamborn ally, 3 strength, 1 willpower, 1 lore with evasive. It's a pretty early evasive remover.
Yeah, I think that's what this is doing, right? You're not necessarily wanting to quest with this as your own evasive. You're using this to deal with an opponent's one. Still not sure it's great though. Like something that gets rid of Surfer Mini is great. Something that gets rid of Surfer Mini and sticks around is even better, and this doesn't.
Better,
so
yeah.
I'm just not sure it's quite good enough to see any play.
I think it'll be okay and limited.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, evasive is just good in a limited, just like full stop.
Yeah.
The same way that flying is good in Magic. Worst case in Magic, you do limited. You just if nothing else is coming together, just take everything that says flying on it, because chances of them having a way to deal with it is very slim. And the exact same in evasive. It's quite a bit of evasive in set 3, but for the most part, I feel like it's just valued much higher in draft than it is anywhere else.
Yeah.
Next up, 2 costed Inkable 2/2 for 1 lore Skippy Energetic Rabbit, Storyborn ally with Ward, functional reprint of Prince Ali. Nothing else really to say about it unless we get a Skippy Floodborn.
Floodborn,
yeah. We'll move on.
After that, we've got Slightly, Lost Boy, and Inkable 4-cost Ruby uncommon card with 4 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore. He's a Storyborn ally with the ability The Fox. If you have a character named Peter Pan in play, you pay 1 ink less to play this character. He also has Evasive. Another Peter Pan card that cares about all the other Peter Pan cards, it seems like.
Give it Rush, cowards.
Then it would be uninkable. It'd have to be.
It's literally called the Fox.
Yeah.
Foxes should have Rush.
This is true. That would be funny, because then it would just be Fox, but uninkable and 1 ink more.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I'm not. These Lost Boys don't impress me too much, to be honest with you. I'd have been much happier for them to have the classification Lost Boy, and also like Vader Llama there says, why all Lost Boys should be 1 cheaper to play if you've got a pan out. Like that's just like a good
flavor.
Like, or maybe a pan that says Lost Boys are 1 cheaper to cast or something like that, you know. But I don't know. It's another mini killer. This one does stick around after killing a mini, to be fair, but still not sure it's seeing much play. And then the other one, I don't know. All these Peter Pan ones came from the same article, and it was really whelming. It was just lots of like middling cards.
Yeah, unfortunate.
7 costed Inkable 6/6 for 3 Starkey Devious Pirate Storyborn Ally Pirate Vanilla uncommon. No comment.
Anyway.
Next up.
Next up, we have Jafar Lamp Thief, an Inkable 3-cost uncommon card in Amethyst. He has 2 strength, 2 willpower, 2 lore, and the ability, I am your master now. When you play this character, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Put 1 on the top of your deck and the other on the bottom. This is like... well, it's not quite like that. I was going to say it's like Yzma, except it's the top 2 cards.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that this is similar to, like Squirrel, Yzma. I still think you're going to play Maleficent, that just lets you draw on 3 over this.
Yeah, I agree.
There's
so much draw in Amethyst. It's like looking at the card that you can draw next turn versus just drawing the card. Like I'd just rather draw the card, because then I get the card now, and then I'll get the second card that I might have chosen next turn or this turn, depending on what you're playing.
Yeah, we skipped Cubby.
Cubby.
No, we did Cubby ages ago for some reason.
Oh, we did.
It's because these were all things that were revealed on the 8th, and they're in alphabetical order. So Cubby was... We covered Cubby a while ago, before Genie.
Okay.
That's why. The rest just happened to all be roughly in alphabetical order. Now we're on to stuff that was revealed on the 9th now. A cool art. It's on one of the packaging, I think, right? This is the packaging card.
Yeah, it's one of the pack arts.
Yeah. It's not... I'll draft this. I think it's quite playable in draft. It's a decent body. Quests well. But I think if you're building a deck, you're just going to play Maleficent. Just made me thinking, is Maleficent sorcerer as a classification? Yes. Not sorceress.
I'm pretty sure.
They've just used sorcerer for all of them? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Something made me think then. Okay, next up. This is a 3-costed uninkable action in Amethyst, last ditch effort. Exert chosen opposing character. They then chosen character of yours gains challenger +2 this turn. Uncommon, unplayable.
Yeah.
All the stuff that we want the Ruby Steel Challenger deck to have to get it online is all in Amethyst.
Yeah.
So maybe they're like, well, you're doing Ruby Amethyst Challenger or you're doing Steel Amethyst Challenger, but you're not doing both. Like,
can't do both.
Yeah. This art makes my skin crawl. Yeah, I don't enjoy this art actually. I rarely call out art that I don't like in Lorcana, honestly, but because there's not much of it. But yeah, his face really creeps me out. The rest is great. It's really nicely detailed. It's really nicely done. His face just weirds me out a little.
Yeah, like I think it's good art. It's just not my preference for art. I don't love it. Yeah. It's not bad art though. I just don't like it.
But yeah, I don't. This you might draft this. I don't know why it's uninkable. It's not that good.
Yeah, I just hate, like you said. It's like this is what the Challenger Ruby deck wants, and it's an Amethyst. It doesn't need to be an Amethyst. So
yeah, I don't get it. Next up.
Next is Nala, Fierce Friend, an inkable 3-cost uncommon steel card, 2 strength, 4 willpower, 2 lore. Storyborn ally, vanilla. This is Tinkerbell with 1 less lore and no ability.
Yeah. Don't care.
Nope.
But
I'd draft it.
Yeah, solid body. 4 on the butt. It's great in draft. Is there space for another Nala?
I don't know. I don't keep up with that spreadsheet.
If there's space for another Nala, I'd get more interested in this. Floodborn Nala, when like her doing the sex face. do you know the meme I mean?
Floodborn version of that.
I don't know. No, some Floodborns are only just a little different, but just as you can shift onto this one, right? We still need adult Nala. You all know exactly what I'm saying, right?
I know. Yes, I know exactly what scene you're talking about.
Let's do that.
Yeah, I won't lie. That's what makes this art and this card make me feel a little weird. It's like, I get that it's from the perspective of like, we are Simba and Nala's on top of us, but I just can't help but think of that scene. And I'm just like, no, thank you.
You're not into it, no? Listen, hey, you're in a safe space here, buddy. If you want to tell us all,
hey, no judgment, no judgment to anyone else. Just
hey,
not me.
This Week in Ink loves love, right? Like whatever you guys want to do, we love love. Like as long as you're all safe,
as long as it's safe and it's not illegal,
consensual. Yeah. The legal bit doesn't bother me too much. As long as you're both on board, you go to town on each other. It's fine.
No comment on the rest of this. Well, let's move on.
All right. Next up, a little pig.
Yeah. There's Pua, pot-bellied buddy, an inkable 2-cost amethyst common card, 2 strength, 2 willpower, 2 lore. Always there. When this character is banished, you may shuffle this card into your deck.
This is absolute good. Limited king. This, like, I will draft 10 of these.
I think even constructed, this is pretty good. Like, it quests for 2. It quests for 2 for 2 lore and will never go to the discard.
Yeah. Yeah, I just go into your deck, though. Like, the stuff that goes back to your hand that I think is playable and constructed, go into your deck, there's a good chance you never see it again. You don't necessarily want to be shuffling your deck all the time. I know this is a May, but maybe this sees some constructed play, maybe. I don't know. But this, I swear to God, I will pick this over a good chunk of the rares in this set if I'm drafting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have much else to say about him. I think he's great.
Me neither. I think he can go in a mid-range to aggressive amethyst deck.
Yeah.
Pretty much all I have to say.
Yeah, quests well. All right, here we go. Strap in.
Here he is.
10 costed, uninkable, 9/9 with 3 lore. Chernabog, Obliterator. I've got the English one. This is 1 cheaper to cast for each character in your discard. And when he's played, you can shuffle characters from your discard back into your deck.
You must. Yes.
You must do it. Yeah, there's no choice.
Yeah.
You must do it. I think this is a trap, and I don't think it's very good.
How dare you? I don't think this is a trap. I think this is good.
Do you? Do you think a vanilla that you have to work around to make playable?
I think the worst part about this card is it doesn't do anything particularly beneficial the turn that it's played.
It doesn't do anything. It's a vanilla. It's a 9/9 for 3 lore.
I mean, it shuffles all your character cards into your deck, but that's not beneficial. So it doesn't do anything. I still think it's good. Like, this goes into Mufasa deck 100% of the time.
It's good. It's good in Mufasa.
I've seen some people say, "Oh, I don't think I'll play a play set of these. I think I'll just play 2." I think you play a play set of these. Yeah. I really do, because like you just put it in a deck that you turn things sideways every turn. You force your opponent to challenge into your stuff, to slow you down, and then you either flip this off Mufasa or you play this for super cheap. And if they have, like, the worst part is if they have immediate removal, it really sucks because you just shuffled your entire deck full of, cards that were just in your discard pile. But that's why I don't think it's like phenomenal, because I don't think there's a way, unless you are really going wide and spamming characters out on board, I don't think there's a way to get this on board before it like dies to removal.
Yeah, you don't get man. If you get this out on 4, I'd be amazed. And like you're having to sing a whole new world to get it on 4. Surely
you have to sing a whole new world, or you would have to play 1 cost characters for the first 3 turns, and then grab your sorted.
2, 3. That's 6. Yeah, and then get grab your sorted. Yeah,
and then play it on 4. Yeah,
it's a crazy card if you can get it to work. But what's it working though?
It works in Mufasa.
Like the thing is, when you say it works, like, it quests for 3, and you might get it out on 5 or 6. And it's difficult to kill outside of targeted removal. You've just described Ray.
No, you haven't, because I've played Mufasa.
Will you wag that finger at me, Sunshine?
Because I've been bringing Emerald Mufasa to League just as to change things up. And I love Ray, but he dies to lots of things. And like, this dies to less things, at least right now, that are being played. So
this only dies to hard removal, I think. Yeah, like or hard, as in like things that don't care about numbers. It dies to let it go and Dragonfire.
And that's what I mean. Like, if you're playing against Amber Steel, good luck. When this card comes down, what the heck are you gonna do? Unless you're playing the 1 card that cares about it having more than 5 strength.
Yeah, I mean, I've had that played against. That played against me, and I was like, "Wait, what the fuck? What's that doing?" It killed something really big. I was like, "Oh no!" So maybe it makes that thing more playable. It doesn't do enough. Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I'm calling it. I don't think this is very good.
I don't think it will be meta defining. I think it'll be good enough to be index.
We'll see. This next card turns it online, though. I actually really like this. I prefer this. I prefer the minions to the evildoer. This is a 1-costed inkable 2/1 for 1 lore. Chernabog's minions. When this character quests, you can discard it to draw a card.
Yeah.
I like it. I was thinking about it, actually. I remember on my video saying that this was really good. And I thought about it. I was like, well, isn't like Cusco is like basically this, isn't it? The little Cusco llama.
Probably better than this.
Yeah, because
it'll get multiple lore.
Yeah. Well, this gets lore until you don't want it to.
Yeah, but a good player will know that it just needs to banish it if you're not going to banish it yourself.
Yeah. So it gets lore up until they deal with it.
Yeah.
I still think it's pretty good though. Again, I want to build a draft deck that's just these and Pua.
Like I think you almost always, unless there's literally not another character on your opponent's side of the field, you have to kill it when you quest.
Yeah, whereas at least with Cusco, you're making them kill it. So Cusco's probably better, but I still like it. It's just an interesting design as well, right? Like just being allowed to banish it when you like.
Let's see. Okay, so you don't just draw a card when it's banished. You have to banish it to draw the card.
Yes, yeah. You choose to banish it to draw a card, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I still think it's fine. I think it's a good card. It's a good 1-drop.
And I don't think we have anything at the moment that says when one of your characters is banished ... Like it's all banished in a challenge, I think, anything that even looks at other stuff, right? If there even is anything.
Cusco is only just when banished.
No, I'm on about like anything that sees other characters get banished.
There's
that the Lyle.
Yeah.
But I'm not so sure they go together.
Yeah, I don't remember what colors I was thinking for that. Yeah. But maybe. I don't know.
It's a new teeth target, is it? I don't think so. I mean, because no, it's not. It's not. It doesn't draw a card when it's banished. You have to choose to banish it to draw a card. Yeah.
Yeah, it's when you win this quest, then you choose to banish it and draw a card, or you choose to not banish it and it doesn't draw a card.
It's super difficult when you reply with just like a word in the chat, because you're literally like 30 seconds behind us, so it's really tricky to know what you're on about. Yeah. Talisman is in a challenge, so turn 1 this and turn 2 Cusco. Yeah, I suppose Cusco is turn 2, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, is there? I don't think there's that much of a difference between turn 1 and turn 2 at that point. I like Cusco better because Cusco is it's a card that punishes removal. You play Cusco is just as good, and maybe not just as good. He's still good on turn 7 versus turn 2.
Yeah, that's fair.
Same for this. I still think it's the fun card. You can play this for sure.
Thanks. I will.
I'll let you. Okay.
Right. Next up.
Next is Flintheart Glomgold. Is that how you say it?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, Flintheart Glomgold, Lone Cheater. He's an inkable 4-cost uncommon card in Sapphire with 3 strength, 4 willpower, 2 lore. Storyborn villain. They'll never see it coming. During your turn, this character gains evasive. It's like kind of goofy.
Yeah.
For Sapphire. I think it's good. Actually.
Yeah, I think if these little evasives keep being a problem, if Peter Pan Shadow and Minnie Mouse Surfer, like this is a perfectly acceptable answer to them, and it's just not the worst body either.
I actually think it's pretty good. I don't know if you're familiar with the player Ducky, so shout out to Ducky, but he is a big popsicle, like Ruby Sapphire player. He's continued to play it even after it kind of lost popularity, and has done really well with the deck. But I saw him prepping for a tournament one time, and he was like thinking about inserting fidgets or goofies, to counter evasive characters. And I think this is just a really great answer to both, because it's less cost than Goofy is. It has bigger willpower, so it can't, be immediately removed with teeth like Fidget can.
Even Smash.
Yeah, Smash can't deal with it.
4 is just the key number on the butt, really. Yeah, I don't mind this at all, actually. I think it's quite playable. We'll probably find homes in decks if the evasives that it's caring about continue to be an issue. I think this is exactly the sort of answer you need for it. Villains deck edition, maybe. I don't think sapphire is a villain's color, honestly. Like,
I haven't thought of it.
I think there's this one of the vanilla Maleficents, a couple of scars, or that one scar. I just like it doesn't. It's not a color known for the villain. Like some of the art, I feel like it's just some of the characters happen to be villains. Like Flintheart Glomgold, he runs out and jumps at people, so it makes sense that he's an evasive, and a lot of the DuckTales stuff is in Sapphire. But he is also the bad guy, so they have to put villain on the card. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's more that as opposed to it actually being a villain thing, Yeah, there's a Hades, there's the Gaston. I don't know. I just don't see Sapphire as a villain color. I feel like it's a color that has some villains in.
I also don't think, at least right now, Sapphire is the color you want to be pairing with Amber, which is the other color that really cares about villains.
Yeah.
Because Sapphire Amber is a little weak in that it doesn't have great ways of dealing with really wide boards. So,
yeah. All right, that's Flintheart. Next up is Sorry,
Gizmo
I'm trying.
Suit.
It's not on the screen. It's not the picture's not showing for some reason. There we go.
Gizmo Suit, an inkable 3-cost common card in steel. It's an item. Cybernetic armor. Banish this item. Chosen character gains resist +2 until the start of your next turn.
I don't care. I don't care about items that banish themselves. I'm not interested in an item deck, and these pretty much, I imagine, exclusively go into that. I don't get it.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, this is an action, and I'm not playing an action that does this.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's good.
All right.
It hints at another IP, right?
Yeah, Gizmo Duck. Yeah, I mean, I say hint.
Duck.
It's pretty. It is.
Oh yeah,
Duck,
it just is.
Like it's part of DuckTales. It's more so it's suggesting the characters come in, I suppose. Rochelle said no Gizmo Duck. They said this is like this is the taster for some Gizmo Duck next set, I guess. Next up, Aid, 6-costed inkable 5/5 for 2 lore. Aid. You can exert this guy to ready your Titans. So this one's interesting. It's not a terrible body. This lives or dies on whether Titans are any good. The 2 we've seen at the moment are fine. I think the 3rd one that was leaked that we haven't seen yet makes them a little better, but I still, it's still 4 cards. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's like we need mini Titans for this to really start to be a decent payoff, I think. It's another character that doesn't do anything when it's played also.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but not an awful body. 5/5 2.
No, I mean it's a good body, and if it survives for the turn, which it's not so big of a threat that it needs to be removed immediately, but it is really telegraphed in that the Titans you're wanting to ready are probably already in play, or you've played them the turn that you play this with a bunch of ink or something. I don't know. Yeah,
it's maybe expensive. I don't know. Just one to keep an eye on. Same with all of these typal stuffs, really. All right, next up. Where is it? There it is. Playmat.
Playmat.
Card.
It wasn't the location.
I'm just saying I called this.
I thought it was going to be a location. I'm not going to lie to everybody and said that I thought it wasn't.
I'm going to lie to everyone and say that I knew this was a song. Prove it.
Prove it. You can't.
Forecasted uninkable action song in Sapphire. How far I'll go. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Put one into your hand, the other into your inkwell face down.
Okay, so
go on.
All that stuff that I just said about Sapphire Amber not being pretty good. This is pretty good.
It's pretty good.
With Sapphire Amber.
It's a little expensive.
Well, not if you sing it.
Well,
Play
sure.
Sebastian on 2. Or What's the rat? The mouse.
The rat?
Okay,
you get a name out of your mouth.
The only reason I said that is because I put together that Spotify thing, and World's Greatest Criminal Mind was in there, and like halfway through the song, they call Ratigan or someone calls Ratigan a rat.
That's
and
the
he's
whole
like,
thing in the movie. What did you call me? There's literally a card in set 2 called "What Did You Call Me," and that's the response to that.
Yeah. Okay, I haven't seen the movie. So.
Yeah, he doesn't like being. He's a very large mouse, which again I think is one of the subcategories for one of his cards.
Yeah,
very large mouse.
Yeah.
I don't know. We could get a Rescuers song. It's the RESCUE Rescue Aid Society. It's like the only song in the film. Yeah,
fun.
Yeah, Bianca Sebastian can sing this. It's a great card. I just think it's a little expensive. But
it's
top two,
I think
one in your hand, one in the ink.
It's a great card, but I think it's too expensive to be great unless you're singing it early.
Yeah, unless you're really leaning into the singing of it. But yeah, it's the best two things you can do in the game on one card.
Draw a card and ink
Draw
stuff.
a card and
you're
ramp.
Not supposed to ink stuff. Yeah. I haven't seen the movie, Rebecca, and you only saw Atlantis like a week ago. So don't come at me with these capital letters.
Capital. I think it's like capital crimes.
I feel like you're yelling at me.
You are. You're totally getting yelled at by Rebecca there.
That's okay. Rebecca can yell at me.
You have to remember, Rebecca, Brandon's quite a bit younger than us.
I turn 25 in a couple days.
So that's depressing. But it means a lot of these he'll have missed first go round.
Very googly. I only saw Atlantis
like 2 weeks ago.
It wasn't 2 weeks ago. It was probably like 2 months ago at this point, or 6 weeks ago, somewhere around there.
Since you last watched it?
No, since I last watched it was like. When did Atlantis get revealed in Lorcana? How many weeks ago is that?
Oh man, I don't know.
Like 2?
Couple, yeah, that may be more than that.
I watched it again when that happened.
What do they mean by you saw it 6 weeks ago then?
The first time I saw Atlantis was like 2 months ago, 6 weeks ago or something. Like it was the first time I'd watched Atlantis.
I thought it was your favorite Disney movie.
It is.
Oh, I thought it was your favorite Disney movie from your childhood.
No, I watched the movie because I was told I knew I had seen Treasure Planet before, but I don't love Treasure Planet. I rewatched it. I still didn't love it a whole lot, and people also suggested to watch. Actually, Adara suggested that I watch Atlantis, and she's like, "I think you'll really like it," and I loved it. She told me that probably 8 months ago, and I just got around to watching it, and I was like, this is a phenomenal movie. Why isn't this more popular as a Disney film? But anyway, I digress.
Oh. Well, you could have fooled me. Yeah, this is really good. If it was 3, it would be incredible.
Great. Yeah.
All right, next up,
speaking of Treasure Planet, we have John Silver, Greedy Treasure Seeker, an inkable 3-cost. We don't know the rarity promo card in steel. With 3 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore. Dreamborn villain, alien, pirate, captain. With the ability to chart your own course for each location you have in play. This character gains resist +1 and gets +1 lore.
Yeah.
This is probably the second card that we've seen from Into the Inklands that makes me care about locations.
That mentions locations and that we're instantly interested in. Yeah. Is the other one Jim Hawkins?
Yeah, the other one's the legendary Jim Hawkins.
Yeah. Are both pirates?
I don't know. Is Jim Hawkins a pirate?
Yeah, I think
His
so.
Classification? That's good if he is.
I think so. Good. Makes an entire. I completely agree. Justin makes an entire deck playable. There needs to be one more payoff for locations, and I'm there for it.
Yeah, if there was one more that's also in those colors.
Oh no, Jim Hawkins isn't a pirate. Sorry, it's just Storyborn Hero.
That sucks.
Still.
Yeah, I would agree, Rebecca. Best card for locations so far. I think even better than Jim Hawkins right now.
I think they both go in the same deck, but yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Jim is not a pirate. Jim is not a pirate.
Discord says first Atlantis watch was January 19th. That feels forever ago.
That was less than a month ago.
That was 4 weeks ago. A little over 4 weeks ago. Whatever. Shut up, Googly.
Yeah, Googly. I love this. I love the fact that it doesn't care about being at one. That's the thing that gets it. It just doesn't care about being at a location. I can put this on 3. Next turn, I can play like
all the one drop locations.
We were doing the math before. Like, I don't think you could technically play 4 on turn 4 because I don't think you'd have the cards in your hand.
Oh, really? After inking and all that?
Yeah. Like after inking. So turn 1, you're at 7, you play 1. Turn 2, you're at 6, you draw 1 to 7, you play 1.
No, you missed an ink already.
Yeah. So turn 1, you're at 7.
You go down to 5, turn 1, draw to 6, go down to 4.
Assuming you're playing something.
Yeah, assuming you play something. On 2, then you go down to 3 on 3. Then on 4, you draw 1, so you have 4, and you have to ink. And then you only have 3 cards in hand.
So you can play 3. So on turn 3, this quest for 4. I mean, that's pretty good. But, like, it's not going to be your hand. You're not going to have all of that in your hand.
And the board is really bad. Yeah. Like, that's really good, but then you lose the game after that because you don't have a hand and you quested for 4 lore. Congratulations.
Yeah. So, well, that's all I had to get to, wasn't it? 4, was it? No, 20? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I wasted your time.
And I win, right?
I still dig it. I still dig it, though. Like, the resist and everything, it's just good. And the art's great. Yeah, just it does everything.
Although, I guess you play 3 locations, and now this has resist +3.
Yeah, it doesn't die. But
and it doesn't die next turn.
Have to sit and pick off locations then.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know. Those locations have a lot of willpower on them. They probably can't get them all.
This isn't a curve play. It's a mid-game play. No. I mean, I'd happily play this on 3, I think. But you're right. This probably sees a little bit more value a little bit later. I was just kind of trying to work out what the perfect curve for this is.
I don't want to stop talking about it because the more we keep talking, the worse it keeps getting, and I just want to believe that locations are
anyway,
be okay.
Best card of the game. Moving on.
Next, Jolly Roger Hook Ship, an uninkable 1 cost Ruby location with a move cost of 2, willpower of 5, 2 abilities. The first one says, "Look alive, you swabs." Characters gain rush while they're here. All hands on deck. Your pirate characters may move here for free.
Woo!
Best location in the game, probably, maybe.
More of those hot takes.
I say that because this is also a card that, like, I want to be so good for multiple reasons, and the more that I look at it, I'm like, is it that good? Because after this card got revealed, you and I were in a Discord call, and we were like, how many pirates are there that are good that you play? And there's not many folks, not right now. And so otherwise you are having to play this and then pay to move something there to give it rush. So, like, you're playing a character that doesn't have rush. You're paying 3 ink to give them rush, essentially, because you have to play this card and then give it to, and then pay 2 to give it rush. And then Jolly Roger, unless your opponent doesn't have other characters on board, probably gets banished the next turn. Best location in the game.
He's still the best location in the game, and it's still a hell of a set of hoops, isn't it? You know, Forceful Duelist loves this.
True, Rebecca. Sorry. I'm sorry. I was looking at chat.
Voyage to move 2 cards. Yes, if you're not playing, like, if you're playing a Ruby deck that cares about locations, Voyage is a staple.
Voyage. Yeah. You have to run
absolutely. You have to be running that. Even this one where pirates move for free, because you're going to want to play non-pirates as well. I just we have one. Somebody's pointed out there. Elliot says we have 1 location per color from RB. You kind of hope they've been holding the spice back.
Yeah, I hope.
We'll see. And did a good ruby one and a good steel one, and then I think maybe it's a thing.
Yeah, Rebecca revealed the Voyage card. Good call.
Yeah. Yes, she did. What's next? King Louie. I think
I want to be like you.
It's just a vanilla, isn't it? Yeah,
it's
7773. Just a better
Starkey.
Yeah, not pirate though.
Not pirate.
It's a band leader.
What is even going on in this art? He's wearing a cowboy hat.
Yeah, well, no, it's more like a straw hat. I think he's like a Hawaiian looking dude, and he's from Tailspin. It's the Tailspin version of him.
I've got to watch it, man.
It's all right, I'm not sure if it holds up anymore, but I remember being a big fan as a kid.
Well, not because it's good, because the whole thing seems like a fever dream.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is. It's weird. It is weird. Super Baloo. All right. Next up, here's a good one.
Yeah, you take it.
3-casted Inkable, 2/2 for 1 lore, Kick Cloud, Kick a Tough Guy, Storyborn Allies, Sky Surfing. When you play this character, you may return chosen opposing character with 2 strength or less to their player's hand.
Good card.
Really great card. Emerald has got some really solid, just utility pieces, this set. This is absolutely one of them. I think this is great.
Yeah, I was really scared that Emerald was getting, to be fair, we haven't seen all the cards yet, but so far, Emerald seems to be getting pretty good cards. And I was afraid the last 2 sets, they would get cards that we all thought were really good and would be broken, and then Emerald would amount to not much when the set came out. But they're getting some pretty good cards, including this one. Just the tempo swing of being able to play a card and bounce another, or bounce an opposing card, so that your other cheap cards you're playing, like questing, aren't removed so easily.
Yeah, it's one of the things that Emerald can suffer from a little bit in its early game is it just wants to quest, right? Like, it just wants to get out there and quest. A lot of the time, it really can't. Those early challenges in Steel can really affect it. And also, all Emerald can really do is sit and quest. So if something can get ahead of it, it's really difficult to do anything about. So this is just a really great way of just shifting that tempo. Somebody says Ursula removal. I'm assuming you're talking about King Louie, because you do not want to use this to remove the Emerald Ursula, right? They must be talking about King Louie.
No, because it puts the Ursula back in their hand.
Yeah,
and you don't want that.
King Louie. They must be talking about King Louie removing the Amethyst Ursula. Yeah. So I dig this. I think this is really good. This goes in a lot of different Emerald decks.
Yeah, I agree.
It can be a banger late game too. Quite a few pricey cards with 2 or less strength. Yeah, I mean, Merlin,
I keep forgetting that strength.
It's strength, not cost.
Not cost. Yeah, that's so much. That's even better.
Merlin, Haram, but then Haram, they get benefit from playing it. So
yeah. I think that's still a tempo loss, though.
Yeah,
because they're having to replay it versus whatever they were going to do the next turn.
Yeah, maybe. But I think this is good, and it's a promo one, which is nice. Means it should be relatively easy to get as long as you've got an active league. All right, moving on.
Next we have Lena Saberwing, rebellious teenager, an inkable 2-cost common card, an amethyst with 1 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore, storyborn hero sorcerer with Rush, another Rush character with 1 strength. What's up with this?
It kills Lilo, right? That's it. That's pretty much the only thing I can think is that it kills Lilo, and there's quite a bit of 1 cost. It's like 1 stuff on the butt in Emerald. Sorry.
Yeah, it kills Lilo, but I don't know. It's just like
it's not enough.
Decks that are playing Lilo are probably also playing bodyguards on turn 2, like Kida and Simba or bounce stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. I just don't think. I don't know. I might be missing something, but I don't love
Googly
it.
and Elliot pointing out that stuff that reduces things' strength combo nicely with Kick Cloud Kicker there, Kida and Amber Queen.
True.
Very true.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Not sure about Lena. There maybe, ideal world comes down to kills Lilo, is bounced for. No, it wouldn't bounce for anything, would it? Next turn bounces for Fox.
Fox, yeah.
I don't know. Not great. Now we're into some spice, though. Magica De Spell. There's 3 of these ladies. We're going to open all of them somehow.
Magica De Spell.
Try and open all of them so we can look at them all together.
The Magica. Magica.
There's one of them, and then that's one as well. Whoops. Okay, so number 48 first. She's a 2-costed inkable 2/3 for 1. Ambitious Witch, Storyborn Villain Sorcerer at common. This is what it is. Floodborn target. Not much else to say about it, really.
Yep. Not bad stats for a 2-drop.
No. Could have been a goon, really.
Yep.
Extra 1 on the butt helps. Next up, 4-costed inkable 3/4 for 2 lore. Magic to Spell Thieving Sorcerer, Storyborn Villain Sorcerer. Telekinesis, exert to return chosen item with cost equal to or less than this character's power to its player's hand. I like the fact that it can be your own thing or their thing, to be honest with you. I like the fact that it doesn't settle that down. You could not 100% sure this really sees play, other than if you really want to make sure you get the shift target. They shift nicely, to be honest. So
the whole returning items thing is weird to me because items don't have to dry.
Yeah, they're online anyway, aren't they?
Like, you still have to pay them to play them again, I suppose, but you can still just use them the turn you play them. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, there's obviously Amethyst Sapphire items is going to be a thing here. Maybe this is just to, you can use it to get a Porpsicle back to replay for yourself.
Yeah, maybe. Draw another card.
Yeah. And do you want to take the last one?
Sure. Magica De Spell the Midas Touch, an uninkable 7-cost super rare card in Amethyst. 4 strength, 6 willpower. Floodborn villain sorcerer. She can shift for 5 with the ability All Mine. Whenever this character quests, gain lore equal to the cost of one of your items in play.
Woo-wee.
That's a pretty fun ability.
It's a massive build around. It feels like it could be a legendary for how much of a build around it is. What is the best item to have on the board for her?
I'm gonna steal your thunder, and I'm gonna say,
Eye of the Fates.
Eye of Fate. Yeah, this is another one we talked about after it got revealed, because this was in the main stage, right?
This was the one, the thing that me and Rebecca got to do. Yeah, this was the last card we showed. Yeah.
So after that, Jonti and I were in a call, and we mentioned Lucky Dime, but Lucky Dime is so expensive, and this doesn't work the way I wish it worked with Lucky Dime, where I could just get like 14 more.
Doesn't work the way I wish it did with Lucky Dime, where I just win.
I want an OTK Lucky Dime combo so bad it's like possible. But yeah, so it's probably Eye Fates, because you can use Eye Fates on Magica, quest with Magica, and then you get 5 lore.
5 lore on 5 with a decent body is pretty solid. Yeah. It's fair about the Lucky Dime interaction. Okay, so the way it works is that Magica De Spell sees Lucky Dime costing 7 and quests for 7, but she doesn't really quest for 7. No. She quests for nothing, and you gain 7 because of Lucky Dime's cost. And therefore, when Lucky Dime goes to exert and 2, Lucky Dime is a male. I am assuming the gender of the coin.
Gender of the coin.
When Lucky Dime quest, it sees Magica De Spell as still having 0 lore. So it's not printed lore, and a lot of people say, oh, it sees printed lore. It doesn't necessarily see printed lore. It sees current lore or active lore. We don't really have a proper term for it yet. But it is lore gained on the card through various abilities, whereas Magica De Spell never has a lore on her. She quests for nothing, but then you gain lore based on her questing. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense to me. I don't feel like I'm explaining it very well.
It's a very important distinction between something like Belle or Tamatoa, because those should say like this character gets. I think they have the lore icon.
Yeah, it's
if they don't
plus lore. Yeah, +1 lore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it'll say like this character like gets extra lore rather than like you gaining lore. Like this character gains lore, and so that's a big and important distinction with Lucky Dime, which is why they work with Tamatoa and Belle and don't work with Magica, because Magica never has additional lore. It's just the ability that nets you extra lore, I suppose.
Googly says, now, why is this an on-quest trigger and not an activated ability with an exerted cost, such as the Disguised Peddler? Because it would be broken if this was an exert cost, because you would run it with everything that readies it.
Yeah.
Because there's loads of stuff that readies it that says it can't quest. But if it was an activated ability with an exert cost, it wouldn't be questing, and you could play this and then LeFou or Fan the Flames or anything you like and gain a ton of lore.
Yeah.
Whereas with Disguised Peddler, technically you can do that, but you're still pitching cards from your hand each time, so you're a bit more limited in what you're able to do. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what is Disguised Peddler?
That's the queen that you can pitch something from your hand.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Whereas that's not so broken if you want to ready it again a lot, because you're still having to pitch the big things from your hand to get it working. Whereas if Magica De Spell just sees a decent item and you can just sort of sit there and popping it back and forth with Shield of Virtue or whatever else, there's loads of things you can do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it's a quest. I think, anyway. That's why I'd make it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good argument, even if it's not, why or why not they didn't. But yeah, like you said earlier, I think this card alone makes Amethyst the now item.
Yeah, it is. Amethyst Sapphire. So now you've suddenly got to go back and look at all the Amethyst items, right?
Yeah.
Pocket Watch.
I don't want to do that.
But what is the Pocket Watch, Cauldron?
And that's it.
Yeah.
There's no other one. There's not. I don't know. I'm sure there's other.
Croquet Mallet.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, I don't think Croquet Mallet. It's really bad for this deck because it's just 1 ink, but I don't think that's the worst card in the world. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look.
Steve watching thinking, woo, glad we didn't make that mistake. Oh, can you imagine? Next up, 5-costed Inkable 4/4 for 2 lore, Maid Marian. When you play her, something gets -2 strength. Sorry, I'm looking at the German version.
Yeah.
Spellbook, yeah. It's really the best Amethyst item. I forgot
True.
about.
Spellbook's pretty good because it's 3 costs, right?
3 costs, and it lets you quest for 1.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all, actually.
Mm-hmm.
How could I not think of Spellbook? That's
it's like the one item that is pretty
one
good.
Really good, it's probably best item in the game.
Maybe, I don't know. I'd draft this. That's about it.
Yeah, really good in draft. Otherwise, probably not.
Okay. Next
is Prince John, False King, uninkable 5 cost.
An uninkable 5 cost in Emerald. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah. 2 strength, 4 willpower, 2 lore, storyborn villain prince. Collect taxes whenever this character quests. Each opponent with more lore than you loses 2 lore. More lore control stuff in Emerald and probably paired with Ruby. I'm not a big believer in the lore control thing because it's really slow. You're not forcing your opponent to lose lore very quickly, and so they usually just end up running away from you anyway.
I feel like it might be good in multiplayer.
Maybe.
But yeah, at some point when you've all got 0 lore, you're not getting anything out of it, right?
Well, that's another thing, especially in multiplayer. So different than single player in that a lot of times you're just kind of setting up. It's like nobody's questing for a while until you have, some stuff set up pretty well. So
yeah, maybe not. And then Google's there saying you gain the 2 lore before you check to see if you have less lore than the opponents. Yeah, which is even worse then, really. I assume that's a ruling that's been put somewhere. I didn't see that, but
I didn't realize that was ruling, but that's important and bad. Yeah,
important and bad. These were these were really good translations as well. This one, I remember this one being. It said when this character quests, each opponent loses 2 legends.
Can you imagine?
Like, what's legends?
There was one. It was one of the brooms.
Yeah, it was.
Instead of sorceress, it said enchanted.
Yeah,
and there were people that were like, "What? If I haven't like enchanted cards matter?
Pay to win." my favorite thing about that was that not that that's how Google had translated it. The fact that Jared from Citizens of Lorcana read that, typed it onto a tweet, and went, "I'll send that." Dude, come on.
Yeah. Look, I don't blame the guy. The reveal season, I just gave up. Sorry, my account is not the account to follow if you want to see every card that gets revealed.
I respect the hustle.
Jared trying to do that work, I don't blame the guy for just copy pasting the thing and just pressing send and going on with the rest of his day.
Sending Twitter into a little frenzy. The idea of just pressing send and just going.
Yeah, just like puts his phone down.
Yeah. So good. And then this it made me laugh because the classifications were classic bad prince.
Yeah,
because the bad translation that said your opponent loses 2 legends. My boss sent that to me, and he was like, "Look at this, you lose 2 legends," and I just wrote back, "Classic bad prince move." Classic bad prince.
Such a bad prince thing to do.
All right, next up, 2 bad cards.
Wait, what? You're talking about quick patch and
and repair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring
remove damage locations. Same issue with characters. I don't think you just leave damage on locations if you don't have to. Probably a bit easier to do that because locations have a lot more willpower. So maybe you don't have enough to banish it, but you challenge it anyway to try to banish it next turn. But I think that's too niche to run cards like these.
Yeah, I think so as well. I don't think you even draft them. They're just not good. It's a shame. Yeah. I actually adore the art on repair. I love that field. I do too. Yeah, it's so good.
I do too. Though I don't know what to call it, but just like the style, there's a lot of depth to the card with blue like coming out in the shadow. I don't know. I can't really explain why, but it's one of my favorite arts.
Yeah, it is for me as well. For me, it's just it's just that depth of field. It's just the fact that it's blurry in the background. Like, it's just really well done. She's got the sapphire lines in her eyes and stuff. It's just great. Repair is better than quick patch. Well, yeah,
sure,
but they're neither are good. I don't think.
But yeah, I mean, that's calling a bad thing better than another bad thing.
Mm-hmm. Next
is Scrooge McDuck, Uncle Moneybags, inkable 2 cost, uncommon in Sapphire, 1 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore, Dreamborn hero, the ability Treasure Finder. Whenever this character quests, you pay 1 less for the next item you play this turn.
Oh, look, that card again.
To be fair,
can I ask him?
If this is going to be on any card, it being on a cheap card, I think is better.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose it gets Eye of the Fates out on 3.
Yeah, it gets Eye of the Fates out on 3.
Gets Quill.
Unfortunately, Quill. Quill is 3 costs.
So it gets Quill out on 2. Gets Quill out cheaper.
Cheaper, yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I could see it. There's no Floodborn Scrooge, is there?
Not yet.
Okay.
Here's a good card. 2 costed inkable action song and emerald. Strike a good match. Draw 2 cards, then choose and discard a card. Yeah.
Love this card.
Unconditional card draw in emerald.
Yeah, this is as close as you're gonna get to unconditional card draw in emerald.
Mm-hmm.
It's friends with the thing that emerald kind of does anyway.
Yeah.
It also works well with the
Sheriff.
Well, no, never mind. Yeah, I was gonna say sheriff, but really nothing else in emerald helps you with sheriff, does it?
No, but I think emerald and steel kind of like each other, so like they could both be in a deck that's doing other stuff, and occasionally this will just let you ping something for one. But you know, I don't think we need to try and make this a good card. This is just a good card. I think this is a 4 of in almost every emerald deck I can think of, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Emerald already had a difficult time drawing cards without jumping through some hoops. This card is inkable, and it's just play this. It's a song, also. Yeah. It's just play this card, draw 2 cards, and I mean, you're technically netting 0 cards, but you're filtering, I guess. I don't know. Good card. Played in most Emerald decks, probably.
So. Yeah, really good. All right, next up.
Next is Captain Hook, Master Swordsman. He's an inkable 5-cost rare card in Ruby with 5 strength, 4 willpower, 1 lore. Dreamborn villain, pirate captain. He has an ability Nemesis. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, ready this character. He can't quest for the rest of the turn. Then another ability, man-to-man. Character is named Peter Pan, lose evasive, and can't gain evasive.
I think you could ignore that second bit. And,
probably.
And just rate this as a 5/4 that hits a couple of things.
Maybe, yeah. It's a pirate, and it's
goes to Jolly Roger and is basically a Maui.
Yeah, I guess it is. It's a 6-cost 5/4 with Rush at that point.
Yeah. I've bought the Peter Pan up here as well. Bucky can sing it, but I don't know whether he wants to. Yeah, I bought the 6-costed Peter Pan because they kind of go together a little.
They do.
This is a 4/5 for 2 Floodborn hero. Jafar, evasive, when he challenges a pirate character and takes no damage. Again, I think you kind of have to ignore that last line. The last abilities on both of these are a little bonus that might happen occasionally. I don't think it's worth rating them into the value of the cards.
I will say this last one for Peter Pan just really kind of dumps on the idea that a pirate deck will ever be too relevant.
You think this gets played just to beat up on pirates?
If pirates are too good, yeah. I don't think they're that good right now, but like if they ever went crazy, absolutely you play this.
Yeah, this could have been a pirate, you know. It's a Floodborn, and he kind of looks like it. This
I'm surprised, actually.
Yeah.
So I love the art on this card. I love seeing Peter Pan like this. I just now realized he wasn't a pirate because I thought with the outfit he would be a pirate, but you're right, he's not.
The other reason I bring these up together is because it's they're same. They're made by the same artist, and they are both points of view of the same battle. So
so good.
It's very cool. I want to play a pirate deck versus a Lost Boys / Peter Pan Tink deck. Yeah, it could be fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah, it really could. Best part of this Hook card is the
paired
artwork.
Video idea.
Yeah,
Rebecca.
Yeah, it is. So I don't know. I think both of these are kind of playable.
Sure,
but they don't. Neither of them like particularly impress me. They're both fine. I think maybe a little better than fine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think if you can, I can't think off the top of my head if there are any Peter Pan cards worth shifting. But I think if you can shift this Peter Pan, it's pretty good because he's really good stats and evasive, and like 2 lore is not bad.
Mm-hmm. Next up, 4-costed inkable 3/4 for 2 lore Chief Tui. Sure.
Cool.
Next.
Kakamora, Menacing Sailor, uninkable 3-cost common card in Ruby, 3 strength, 2 willpower, 1 lore with the ability. Storyborn Pirate. Oh, that's fun. It's a pirate.
Yeah, I like it. Sorry, go on.
I do too. With Plunder, when you play this character, each opponent loses 1 lore. Of course it's a pirate.
Yeah.
That's so fun. Of course it is. This is from Moana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course these things are pirates.
There's loads of them. Like I feel again, this kind of it doesn't necessarily upset me because we've seen items there. We saw Maurice's workshop as an item, and it made me say, "Oh, that means we're not getting locations then." Like a week before locations were announced.
Yeah.
So because this is the sort of character that would work perfectly as a token. Like because there's hundreds of them and they just come out of nowhere and there's and they're just generated, So so this doesn't necessarily mean that there won't be a Kakamora token. But like every time I see Dalmatian puppy or this or a broom, I just think, oh man, these would all work really well as tokens. Yeah. So I'm not saying that they won't be. There are dog cards in Magic and then dog tokens. Like it can work, but I would love to see. This is a great kind of token. You make a little 1/1 Kakamora pirate token, and that's it. Yeah. It's just a 1-costed 1/1, but you can churn them out so much, and they all just jump and get rush, and you just kind of explode them off Jolly Roger. It's so thematic, right? Steve has unfortunately pretty much ruled out tokens for the time being. I'm well aware. I'm pretty sure if you've heard him say it, I've heard him say it. I know they're not on the cards, but it's such a fun design space that I feel like they have to at some point look at it.
I agree. I think it's one of those things with a trading card game that is structured like this one. Mm-hmm. Tokens would be really easy to bring into the game, and it's not so much a never, but like a when is it going to happen?
Yeah.
Also, I don't keep up as closely as I did before with a lot of what Steve says, just because it's mostly rule stuff, and my brain hurts when I try to think about that too long. But has he explicitly been like, there are no tokens for a while, or has he just been like, there's no tokens yet?
I think the official thing was like, it was something we looked at, but we decided it wasn't right for now. It was something like that.
I think that's big though, because anytime a designer or Rochelle or anyone is like, I like to really read into their words, whether that actually means anything or not, I don't know. But the fact that Steve and Ryan were like, we thought about tokens and played with them initially, but we thought they'd be too complicated.
Yeah.
Right now, at the very beginning, really makes me want to believe we'll get them eventually. It just wasn't something they wanted to do right off the bat to make the game more accessible and easy to learn and understand and all that.
And again, Magic the Gathering had 30 years under it. It didn't have tokens at launch. Some Dooms games do. I'm pretty sure Hearthstone had them at launch.
Yeah, probably something similar to it.
I think like Sorcery, a recent game that's come out, Sorcery TCG, they have tokens out the gate. His main point was damage tokens were enough tokens for the complication level. Yeah, I mean, it's a different type of token, right? Like, yes, it's the word token, but I think of damage tokens more as counters than tokens, if that makes sense. Like, they're just used for referencing numbers. I'm talking about if I did believe those were a little different. Yeah. Someone who hasn't played other trading card games, could you explain what tokens do in games? Yes. So the idea behind a token in most card games is they're not cards that exist in your deck. They are generated through play, and they only exist in the main play field. That's pretty much across the board how they work. So you will have actual cards in your deck, items, locations, characters, and they will say something like, on play, generate a 1/1 or create a 1/1 token, draw a 1/1 Kakamora, whatever the terminology is, and then you can just use a die if you want to record the number of it, or you can go and they'll print them probably as well, the sort of thing that's printed in that advert slot. You might get a token there instead in your pack. or you can use a post-it note or a regular playing card, anything you like, something that just as long as both of you can confirm what it is, you have it, and then it works as any other sort of vanilla character would, gets any value out of it, does from classifications or anything like that. But if it were to leave play for any reason, inkwell, discard, back to hand, it instead just dissipates and vanishes and becomes non-existent again. That's basically a token in pretty much every game I can think of that uses them. That's it. It's a card that is generated through play, and if it were to leave the main stage, it disappears.
Yeah. I love tokens.
Yeah.
I mainly know them through like Magic.
Yeah.
And the little bit of Magic that I've played, tokens are super fun to play with.
They're great. They're great because not only do they just come down, and the idea is that they're very simple in and of themselves, but then there's lots of things that can develop them. So there'll be cards that say, if you were to make a token, instead make 2. There's that kind of thing. If every time you make a token, also make a 1/1 cat or something like that, and it's one of these things where you just get so many of them on the board that every time one of your cards turns sideways, you make 4 1/1 tokens, and it just it's just like extrapolates. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts. And there are so many characters in this game: goons, Kakamora, puppies, just so many things that the Chernabog's minions that would just work perfectly as tokens. So I would love to see them eventually.
Yeah, you can do some really fun things with tokens. I think it'd be cool if there was something that was like every time you generate a token, like this doesn't fit for Kakamora, but I'm just going to use it as an example. Uh-huh. When you generate a Kakamora, it gains 1 strength and 1 willpower instead of creating another token, and then for every 3 strength it has, it gains an extra lore or something. And like you just try to build up something really big and quest with a lot of lore.
There's just loads you can do with it. It's great. They're great fun. I look forward to them coming to the game. I'm sure they will at some point. Next up, forecasted inkable 3/3 for 1 lore. Develop your grandma. Grandma Tala with Develop Your Brain on play. So you when you play her, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one of them in your hand and one to the bottom. Cool. Maybe this is okay. I think you draft this. I don't know whether it sees much constructive play.
It's grown on me a little bit. The worst part is it's in a Flaversham spot right now on 4 ink, which is really key for a lot of Sapphire decks.
There's probably a Sapphire Steel deck that still doesn't care about items. I've got tokens on mine now. There's probably still a Sapphire Steel deck that doesn't care about items.
Oh sure. But yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. I saw somebody compare it to like a Maleficent and Amethyst, the 3/2/2 that draws a card. It's like it's basically this, but just 1 extra of everything.
That helps you filter a little bit as well. I don't think it's terrible. I think we might be getting a Floodborn Grandma Tala as well. There's like 1 space left for her. Okay. And I feel like we might get like a Stingray Grandma Tala in Floodborn or something, so that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Next up, another one from Moana. Hey. Do you want to take him?
Hey. Accidental Explorer. An inkable 2 costs uncommon card in Ruby with 3 strength, 2 willpower, 1 lore. Mindless Wandering once per turn. When this character moves to a location, each opponent loses 1 lore.
Never mind. Hey.
I don't think the ability's all that great.
No.
But Hey just comes in with the best arts in every set, dude. I mean, this is so good.
It's so good. This is what the thumbnail for my last video. I was like, I've got to use the Hey. It's so good.
Shout out to Oh man.
Yeah, go on. Shout out to that person who did the art.
Eva Gao.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce that first name.
Me neither. That's why I didn't attempt it.
But
yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, I don't think it's very good. I don't think it makes that Maui any better, but it's.
I will say, oh, never mind. It's once per turn. Dang it! Every time I see a card that does something when it moves to a location, I get excited.
It's always once per turn, like that. Like the Peter Pan is once per turn. They must have realized there must be something in the game that just lets you go boop, 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 if it didn't have that specification, right?
Yeah, I think it's just like, I mean, heck, on turn 7 you could play 2 1-cost locations and then this and bounce it a couple times. And
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, maybe that's enough for them to add it there. Yeah, maybe that's enough for them to add it there. All right, next up, Maui's Fish Hook. This is a 3-costed inkable item in Ruby. With its Maui time, if you have a character named Maui in play, you may use the ability for free. The ability is Shapeshift. You can exert and pay 2 to either give a chosen character evasive until the start of next turn, or chosen character gets +3 strength. It has been pointed out that when it refers to the ability being played for free, it just refers to the ink cost, not the exertion. So you still have to exert this even if you have a Maui out. You can't give everything on your board evasive and +3 million strength, basically. Yeah. I don't hate this, to be honest with you.
This is one of those cards that I feel like I need to play with to figure out. Mainly because it serves a really, like, the card itself is pretty good. Just being able to give a character evasive until the start of your next turn is big.
Yeah.
Plus strength is whatever, but like not bad because like Crab has seen play.
Yeah, just enough to get up to something.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, TCG Academy has said map of Treasure Planet and 2 locations would let you go back and forth with hey without it saying once per turn. So that's it. I knew there'd be something that would just let you go and win if you didn't say it. So yeah, there it is. Okay, sorry.
But I think we already have characters and cards that do the thing that this does, and maybe a little bit better than this card.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that if you want to give evasive to a Maui, you're just playing Peter Pan's Shadow.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I guess outside of Amethyst, you can play this to get that same effect if you want it, which maybe that's enough to play it if you're not, when you're not playing Ruby Amethyst. But yeah, if you're playing Ruby Amethyst, like, you can just play Peter Pan's Shadow. They don't really struggle with like needing more challenge or needing more strength to get rid of stuff. So I don't know. I don't think it's a bad card. I can see it being played, but I'm just not like fully sold on it yet.
I agree. Next up, 4-costed inkable 3/4 for 1 lore Moana, Undeterred Voyager, Storyborn Hero Princess with evasive. Again, another great art. Like the art's kind of killing it in this. Like just all this like real good sort of depth and movement to it all.
I agree.
But I don't think this is. I mean, this is whatever. It's goofy, right? What's goofy?
Yeah, I think Goofy's. Well, it's a cheaper Goofy, and it loses the lore.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, cheaper Goofy loses the lore. Yeah. Until we get a good. We need a cheaper Moana for the other one to shift onto, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
This one I'm not too
sure.
sure.
I like that googly. I noticed that too. This is Moana.
I just noticed that for the first time too.
Yeah, rolling up onto Ka just from you're not looking at Ka.
Yeah.
I like it a lot
because of the little flames coming down there. Look, that's badass. Goes in the folks holding ropes deck as well.
Yeah, it's another character holding a rope. Lots of those.
We get it. We dig it. We stand it. All right. Next up.
Yep. Next up, we have Nani, Protective Sister, an inkable 5-cost uncommon in Amber with 3 strength, 6 willpower, 2 lore. She's a Storyborn Hero. and she has Bodyguard. I think this is Goofy Musketeer, but with an extra lore and obviously no Musketeer.
Yeah, I don't mind that though.
I don't either. I think this is pretty good.
Yeah, I do, because the Musketeer stuff, does it name Musketeers or does it name bodyguards, all of the other ones? They do name Musketeers, don't they?
Yeah, for their abilities, they name Musketeers.
But Goofy one is like, it heals them up and it's never a thing. So, yeah, this is playable, this.
I think this is like, is this better Maximus?
Oh, I don't know about that, because the support is useful for Maximus.
The stats are slightly different, and Maximus has support. But I don't know. I might play this over Maximus.
Yeah.
Just because of the extra willpower.
Yeah.
I guess it's so nice to Maui. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. Something to be said about the thematicness of it looking after Lilo and stuff, but yeah, is she holding a mangrove? I don't know. She's got a twig or something.
I don't know what she's doing.
She's rocking out.
Looks good though.
Yeah,
really good art.
Next one is Rolly. We take that one when I find it.
Yeah, Rolly, Hungry Pup, Inkable 3-cost uncommon card in Amber with 3 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore, Storyborn Puppy. Lucky has support.
Another puppy that doesn't hit the puppy stuff, right? Like,
yeah,
this is Lucky. Like I quite like thematically, it's quite neat that he's one too big because he's Rolly's the chunky puppy. So I kind of like that, but otherwise, yeah, I don't know. We just need to see Perdita. It's all that matters now.
Yeah, you're right. Once we see Perdita, we will know.
Musketeer characters name Musketeers. Tabard names bodyguards. That's right. That makes sense now. Yeah. I'm glad the Tabard names bodyguards.
Yeah.
And then our last one, Simba. 2 costed uninkable, 1/1 with 3 lore. Simba, Scrappy Pup, Storyborn Hero, Prince, rare card in Ruby. This is Simbokio, I'm calling this.
Simbokio.
Yeah, this is Pinocchio in Amethyst. It's fine. Yeah, it's good.
Sure, good card. Yeah.
Does what it needs to do. Quests away. Gets picked up again, probably. Just gives you 8 slots of this card in the Ruby Amethyst aggro deck, That's basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the last one, Rebecca. Yeah, we're just doing card reveals. We were going to do a couple of other bits and bobs, but we've been going for 2 hours and 40 minutes. So
yeah,
I think
it's probably a bit late.
This is what happened last time. We came in with the best intentions to do everything, but really we've just got to get through these cards during reveal season.
Yeah.
Any guesses for Purdy ability? Honest guesses or what I want it to do?
Yeah.
Because there's a big difference.
2 really different answers. Yeah.
What I want it to do is what I want it to do is each puppies get +1 lore. Just blanket. That's what I want it to do.
That'd be good.
It would be really good.
That's probably the best option.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I want. That's like the best it can do, I think, is it just says puppies get 1 lore. If I'm being serious about what it probably does, probably you pay 1 less to play puppies.
Oh, that feels so bad.
Yeah.
Did we go over Lucky
tonight? No, he might have been last week. I can bring him up for you, though.
He was. I see him. Never mind. I got him. Real top 3. Whenever this character quests, if you have 4 or more other characters in play, your other characters get +1.
Yeah, see, he's already the plus lore for puppies, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what scares me.
Yeah.
It's like Perdita can't be the plus lore if they already have a plus lore puppies.
Lucky slaps. I think Lucky does slap, yeah. But yeah, I think Panita's probably pay one less for puppies, or every time you play a puppy, you can draw a card. It won't even be that. It'll be every time you play a puppy, you can pay one to draw a card.
Yeah, that sounds better. Well, because what is? I don't remember any of these cards. What does Pongo do?
Pongo lets you go digging.
Like pay 2 and then what? Do you draw?
Pongo says, once per turn, you can pay 2 to reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character card, put it in your hand. Otherwise, put it on the bottom. It's like a fake Mufasa, I guess. I don't know.
So we can dig, we gain lore. I don't even know.
I'm not seeing a major. Jason Fernandez, too many theme decks that won't break meta. I'm not seeing a major shake-up in set 3. Each deck got slightly better at the thing that they were trying to do before. I was on a podcast earlier today, and we spoke a lot about how this card and this card goes into Steel Song, and this card and this card goes into Discard, and this card and this card goes into this. I don't think that many that we've seen so far goes into Ruby Amethyst. I just don't think any. I just think Ruby Amethyst continues to be good. But I think there might be some stuff coming up that maybe works a bit better than we're giving it credit for now. I hope there is, because otherwise,
I think So
Michelle says
agree.
Perdita is really good. Don't
Michelle, don't give me hope. Don't give me hope, please.
Yeah, I feel like everything that's currently mid-tier gets better, and that could be enough to shake it up, right? Because at the moment, the reason why Ruby Amethyst is so strong is because it's just consistent and copes with everything.
It's consistent, and you can make mistakes without it mattering too much. It's primarily the big thing.
But honestly, I don't see any of the theme stuff really shaking it up. I don't see pirates or puppies really making an effect on the competitive meta. But I see cards like Ursula. I see cards like Bare Necessities. I see those being the thing that's just enough to get rid of some of that consistency of Ruby Amethyst.
Yeah. So before probably this week, I agreed that everything we had seen so far just like wasn't enough to shake things up. But the more cards we've been seeing, the more I'm starting to see things like that. Specifically Ursula and Bare Necessities are two of the biggest for me. Even cards like Kida, I think Kida is going to be really good in helping aggro decks just be even better to combat some of the other stuff. Like, I think it's going to be just enough that we will see the meta shake up a little bit. And I'll be honest, there are players that are much better than I am that have been saying that the decks that they've been playtesting with the cards that we already have are doing well into Ruby Amethyst and like shaking things up pretty big. So I trust a lot of those guys that are saying that to be accurate on that. So I'm holding out hope that I don't think Ruby Amethyst will go away by any means. But I think and I hope that there's more than just one deck at the top. And you could be running a couple.
I just want to see a real rock paper scissors meta. I just want to see 3 or 4 decks that all do well at a couple against a couple of them and doesn't do well against a couple of others. That's the healthiest it can be, I think.
And I want to see, and maybe this is asking too much, but I want to see like a lot of diversity within the ink pairings too that are being played. Because even now, like you have Ruby Amethyst at the top, of course, and then below that you have a lot of variants. Except most of it is like Steel X. And all the stuff that's not running Steel is aggro, like really aggro stuff. Which like sounds and looks like it's really varying, but it's not. If like you have to run Steel, with everything else in order to make those decks work, or you run aggro. So I hope that not only do we have like a rock paper scissors meta, but I hope it's not oh, you have to be running ruby and
Yeah.
something, or you have to be running amethyst and something. And there's 3 decks on the top, but they're all amethyst steel, amethyst ruby, and amethyst sapphire. You know?
Yeah. You need the card draw of amethyst, and you need the removal of ruby or steel, and that's the only thing that really mixes it up.
Yeah.
Latest set card list. Someone's asking how many legendaries we haven't seen yet. It's a great question. It's worth a little look before we sign off, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have we seen either Sapphire one yet?
Lucky Dime is one of them.
Yeah, Lucky Dime.
I don't remember if you've seen the other.
Strength, Law, Power, Classification, Ink, Nativity. Can we not sort by rarity? Oh, Musha, you're killing me.
Depends on what website you
go
to.
I was on Loot Musha report here.
Let's see. Rarity, legendary. Come on, internet. We've seen both steel legendaries,
which is Robin Hood and
Mickey.
Oh yeah.
We actually are missing quite a few legendaries.
Yeah.
So we've seen Jim Hawkins. We don't have another Ruby legendary. Lucky Dime is the only Sapphire legendary. Milo Thatch is the only Emerald legendary. We have both steel legendaries. There's the Maleficent Amethyst legendary, and that's the only one we've seen there. And then Kida is the legendary Amber.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so we've seen a legendary from each ink.
So we've got 5 left still to go then, assuming it's still 2 each, which I think it is.
Yeah.
And then, last thing then, so people have asked us to mention, Enchanteds. We saw our first Enchanted today. This was shared by German IGN, I think.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was the source. And it's Peter Pan, Pirate's Bane, is it, I think? We just talked about it 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
6 cost is inkable, 4/5 for 2 with evasive, shift 4, and doesn't take damage from challenging pirates. Really good, beautiful art. I love this kind of like painterly style. I do worry how it's gonna, assuming it's the same foiling as the first 2, I do worry if this sort of more matted and subtle color palette is affected by that. Because I know a couple of the ones that we've seen already, and the Hercules especially from set 2, because it's a sort of muted palette, kind of gets a little bit lost behind that relatively heavy foiling process. So it might be a different foiling process. We don't know. It might still look fine. I don't know until I see one in real life. But the actual art is awesome. The reason this is getting talked about, other than it's just, hey, look, here's the first legendary,
Enchanted,
is that. It's number 215 of 204. So the way that Enchanteds have always been numbered is they go from 205 up to 216. And they do, and it's been 2 a color, and they've been in set order color. So it's been 2 amber ones, 2 amethyst ones, 2 emerald, 2 ruby, 2 sapphire, 2 steel. That would put the ruby ones at 12, 11 and 12. Yeah, 11 and 12.
Yeah, 11, 12.
And this is 215. So there's a lot of things that it could be. It could be that the set ends at 204. There are 3 of something, and then we start the 12 Enchanteds. What I think is more likely is that we're having 3 of each Enchanted this set. The fact that this is the set we get locations, and I think full art locations would be cool as Enchanted cards. But I think also if they took up half of them, people might not be super happy about that, because it's really the characters that shine in these things. So how about 2 characters and a location for each color Enchanted?
I see what you're saying.
So that's kind of where I think we're sitting. What do you think about that? Do you think that's right?
That's what my initial guess was when I saw that people had realized that the number for Peter Pan was a little off, and started theorizing on 3 Enchanteds. Yeah. It's like you said, makes sense. Locations are being brought into the game. I'm I think when we first learned about locations, I had said that I would be happy with an enchanted location, and I think I would be. I've seen like Disney landscape art from different like famous artists in general, and I've loved all of those. I love landscape art anyway, and so an excuse to have a card that's, you know, extra beautiful because it's supposed to be a special enchanted card and it's landscape of a well-known location in Disney. Sure, I'm more than happy to have that.
Yeah,
I'd sooner frame that than I'd probably frame a just enchanted character.
It would
card.
probably look nicer, right? Like lined out like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think you're right. I wonder if they would go as far as doing it as like a full art. So in Magic, sometimes for promos, they'll do a card where there's no text on it even. Like it might just have the cost, and it's like you gotta know what it does. You know, like I don't know whether they would go that far with that, but yeah, that'd be really good. Imagine a print of an enchanted location. Yeah, just leaving money on the table, aren't they? Not doing that sort of stuff. I think.
Yeah,
you know.
Puzzles, prints, all that. I love it. I've been saying the locations. I would love the full art versions of those cards just for desktop backgrounds.
They'd make great PC backgrounds. Yeah, I think they would need to increase enchanted pulls ever so slightly. Yeah, maybe. But then as long as the actual count of enchanteds was the same, I don't know if it really made that much difference, really. Like if you still had the same odds of pulling an enchanted.
That's what I want.
Of a single enchanted or
I just want the odds to be the same. Like there's extra cards in the pool now, but I don't want Oh wait, hold on.
What?
Maybe that's not what I want.
Do you want the same odds of pulling any enchanted? As in, if it's already like 1 in every 100 packs, do you want it to stay as every 1 in 100 packs? Or do you want it to be a little more common so that the chance of pulling a single enchanted is the same?
That's a great question, Jonti.
And maybe that's where we leave it.
Because I don't know.
No, me neither. I don't think that I never open enough for those kind of numbers to matter, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Unless there's a set that just really, really, really speaks to me, I don't see myself wanting to collect all of the enchanteds again. I'm trying to do it for the first chapter, and it's taking me ages already. So like,
money.
Tons of money. So.
I got my two a set, and I'm happy.
In that case, I probably would want the increased chance of pulling a specific character, so that if there was 1 or 2 that I really wanted, I had better chance of pulling it. Yeah, I'm not getting that enchanted stitch, by the way. That
it's gone way up, eh?
It's gone. I mean, it's.
Oh,
sure
sorry.
it's
I'm so sorry. The one you bought, you're not getting. That sucks.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. I haven't looked at the prices lately, but it leveled out a little bit. It ended up. They were at 200 before the rise. They went up to like 300, and last I checked, they were down to like 250. So that's whatever.
Come back down again.
Trying to get my money back from the one that I bought off eBay that hasn't shipped yet. So
you should. Like the one thing eBay are pretty good at is that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
No, man, the stitch carefully, it just keeps going up. Stops.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Well, are you looking at Canadian?
No, I'm just looking at TCG Player.
But yeah, but aren't there different stores? Like
it's just the general, like the line.
Stitch, Carefree.
It's actually
it's the wrong Stitch.
It's at all-time high right now.
Love that for you.
Carefree server. Some of the others haven't moved around as much. We're just doing a market watch after 3 hours. Let's go. Some of the others haven't moved around as much, but yeah, technically.
Okay, so then the listed ones that were that high just never sold.
Right.
People are going down on their listings. Is what's happening.
Elsa's insane. I had a look at Elsa. Somebody contacted the store today asking if we wanted to buy one.
What'd you tell him?
And I was like, well, let me have a little look. And it's just up to the moon again. Like, still not as high as it ever has been. Like, it still Elsa's was the highest.
I don't know that it'll ever get up to that point.
It's not far off, though. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's sold for like something wild at Gen Con day one.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, yeah, like people sold them for a few $1,000, or all of them sold for a few $1,000 at Gen Con.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, on the market, they sit a little different.
Oh, man. Elsa's going to, like, keep me from finishing this set, man.
It's gross, eh?
$800. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, 825. The Wicked Gaming.
Gross.
Just buy a pack, pull it.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't know. Finding
Honestly,
set one packs a little trickier now.
I wonder what the statistics are and like how many packs I could open with $800.
A D23 still high? Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah,
I haven't checked those in a while.
Yeah,
have you looked?
Well, it's a good guess.
I don't think I'll be interested. Never mind.
Go on.
I don't think anything aside from a like 1-of-1 championship card would ever pass the D23 prices. Yeah, I mean they're still
it's difficult to find.
$13,000, $12,000.
It's also difficult to find data on them as well. Like, so, but yeah, they're going for a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't sell all that often.
No. How about last question? Okay, Inkable Cardboard gets last question today. Okay. Since we've got most of the set, what is a couple of enchanters you guys want to see? Maybe I want to see, really. I'm kind of happy with whatever they do, honestly. Like, I just kind of dig pulling them. Even, you know, like I'm not going to chase a certain one. So I'm just kind of happy to see a good mix. I'm happy with the ones I have. I think ones I can see happening are Kida, Floodborn. That I think that Maleficent legendary I think is a good shout. Well, we've seen that. I was gonna say we've seen that Peter Pan. I don't know whether I'd have called that Peter Pan, honestly.
But now it's rarity.
Yeah,
it's super rare.
Yeah, maybe. No, I think it's rare. It's just rare. Maybe off the back of that, a Captain Hook.
I could dig a Captain Hook.
I think that Chernabog is probably a shoe-in for one. I think Chernabog and Kida are your two characters.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be surprised if they did one of the... I'd be surprised if they did either Pongo or Perdita. And I don't think they'd do both. So, yeah, I think Chernabog and... Kida, yeah. Yeah. But again, I don't really mind. Whatever. They all usually look cool.
If I'm being 100% honest, same. Because like unless I just happen to pull an enchanted, I'm probably not gonna go out of my way to buy one until I complete the first chapter set, which is gonna take me ages to do. So I don't really care. The more like I don't know, man. I'd keep a Helga if Helga was pulled.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's much else that I would keep, and I wouldn't just immediately trade away to try to
trade fodder.
Yeah. Because I love the enchanted cards, but like you just have to. I can't just keep them to look at.
Yeah. All right.
If I want to play the game.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there. We'll be back next week with, I imagine, full set reveal. It's probably coming this week, isn't it?
I would think so. Yeah.
I think both times before now, it's been about 9 days before release. So we should
because next week will be within the week of the release. Sorry.
So next week we'll go over the last few reveals, and we'll have a look at what launch looks like for everybody, and we'll go from there. Brandon, where can people find you?
You guys can find me at B224 on YouTube. You can also find me at B224, capital Y, capital T on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah.
Do you have any plans this week? Are you heading out to League? Has League finished?
I'll probably head out to League on Wednesday, but more exciting, in my opinion, I have a tournament to be commentating this Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
On my channel. I'll be commenting.
I thought we'd have another week before that happened, but no, we won't. This will happen before next week.
Weekend.
Oh yes, in that case, then let's plug that.
Yeah, so Jonti's store is going to be hosting it's just a tournament you guys just normally host, right?
Yeah, it's one we do like once a month. It's nothing major. It's just going to be a constructed tournament with some card prizing. It's mostly just our locals and a few that will travel in for it. So it's not, there's no like $1,000 on the line or anything, but it should still be fun. It's just give you a nice varied look at some different decks. So and we're hopefully going to be able to stream it so that yourself and Franz from Traverse Tavern are going to be commentating on it. Yeah, so we're having a run through tomorrow. So as long as that all goes well, we'll advertise it the next day. We'll get the tech working first.
Yeah, so look out Saturday. It should be Saturday morning, afternoonish. So you guys just look out for that. It'll be on my channel. It won't be on this channel. So
yes, it'll be over. Yeah, so the link will be in the description as usual. Make sure you're following Brandon, of course. And the video will be there, and so it'll be Brandon and Franz commentating it. If I can get the setup right, I'll try and get a mic there as well, so we can chat in between rounds. Maybe I'll be the guy on the floor who holds the microphone like this. Oh, thank you for joining us. So we can chat in between rounds, but otherwise I'll probably be floating for the day and making sure everything works well and looks good for you. Thank you, Jason, for the super chat. Jason will be playing in the tournament.
Whoa.
And is a very accomplished player, so there's a good chance you'll see him at table 1.
Let's say you'll have to put him on stream.
Yeah, there's a good... Well, we'll probably just run table 1, but there's a good chance he'll be there because he's a fine player who... I owe money to because he gave me a Beast Tragic. He gave me a Beast Tragic hero at League, and then I totally forgot to pay him for it. And now he's donating money to the stream.
Yeah,
sucker. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we're here every single Monday, and we appreciate you and love you all to bits. So until next week in Ink.
That was This Week in Ink.
We're not out. Mike's still on. Don't swear.